You gotta make me scream yelling in. All right.
Yeah, sorry. OnePeg! What's up, Eddie?
What? Hi.
What's up? Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
I want you to introduce herself, you know? I want you to
That's right. Yeah.
I want you to introduce yourself, OnePeg. What you do, how long you been doing what you doing, man?
I'm a Twitch streamer, and I make YouTube recorded videos, long form content primarily. I don't typically do the short form stuff. I've been full time now for 5 years and 2 weeks.
Sheesh,
It was April
dude.
1st, 5 years ago. I went full time. I've been streaming for 6 and like 2 months, 6 years, 2 months, 3 months, something like that. Yeah, it's been a wild ride.
That's awesome, dude. Well,
started with Tarkov, and now we do other things.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing really good with other things. Dark and Darker's doing very well for you.
Yeah.
You've done a lot of good videos, and you kill the game every single day. Every single day, you can freaking kill the game, dude. You're doing great stuff. The news stuff is really cool too. I love looking at like Tarkov news and shit. Because I know you know what you're talking about and nobody else does on Twitter. Like I'll open up Twitter and I don't listen to anybody else besides your like tweets. Like I'm just being honest with you. I'll listen to nice guys occasionally, but you know how it is, bro. That's awesome though. I did want to congratulate you on all your success as of recent, man. You're doing a really really cool job. I would like to point out, speaking of, I actually have an anniversary today. We actually are celebrating our 3-year partner anniversary today.
Today?
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
I know, dude. It's a special stream, man. Special podcast, bro. You know how it is.
Wait, so you're 3 years. So you got partnered like a month after I did then? Because I was partnered like the first week of March 3 years ago.
Yeah. I remember specifically looking on Twitter and seeing that you got partner, I believe a month, right? Like a month before.
Yeah. Attempt number 16.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
Were there any of those attempts that you were like, dude, I'm just going to give up and like, fuck this, dude?
No, it's even better. So on like attempt number 12, I want to say. So so for everybody that doesn't know, the way that it works is you put in your application. It's like, why should you be partnered? There's like this section where you type in like a blurb about yourself or whatever. Like, tell us about your stream. I think is the way that they worded. Yeah. So I worded, like attempt number 12, I actually wrote like, so this is the 12th attempt that I have made in order to get partnered with Twitch. I assume I will be denied. So could you please fast track this denial so I could get onto application number 13? Like we all know you're denying me, so just deny me so I can move on, I actually did that. And then they denied it. And then I think, like the 16th attempt or something, they finally gave it to me.
That's awesome. Well, they time gate you, right? Like usually you can't apply after.
Yeah, it's like a 30 days.
Yeah, so
it's every month. Sometimes the replies took them weeks. Like there were times where I would get a response in hours, and other times it would take like 2 weeks.
So you were applying for partner, and then you got partner probably. What, half a year? Maybe a year even after you started applying? Because
it would have been at least 16 months worth of attempts.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so so what happened originally was when I finally hit the metric, I applied and they told me that someone had been viewbotting my stream. Mm-hmm. So like of the 75 or whatever concurrent viewers, like 25 or 30 of them were fabricated. Yeah. And I had no idea. So I ended up having to write some big old thing in like my Discord to say like, look, I don't know if you guys are trying to do me a favor, but I would really like you to stop doing this because they'll never let me do like what I'm trying to do. And then my viewership fell off. So it was like 80 and then it dropped to like 55, 60. So I would kind of like always be like just getting above the threshold, like on the averages. And then I would make the request because you couldn't see like back then you couldn't see like what percentage of your viewership was from like hosts, or raids or whatever. Yeah. It had to be without them. But there was no way to know like what was what. So I was like, all right, well, I'm above the threshold. Maybe they're natural viewer. I have no idea. So I would just like keep asking and they would just keep saying no.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. 16 attempts I got it on my first try. And I'll be honest with you, I took some advice from a lot of people. They just hit me with
this guy.
They hit me with the don't seem desperate. And I was like, what does that mean, dude? I'm desperate, bro. Like, I want partner. And they were like, wait a week after you can apply. Like, when I first was able to apply, I waited a week. I think I waited a week and a half to make it seem like I'm not desperate for it, and I got accepted. I don't know. I gave a spiel. I
because you're super wholesome, man.
I poured my heart out into that diary that I had on their their application process, bro. That's funny.
What's funny about the partner thing is I was a full-time content creator 2 years before they gave it to me, because I was making enough. So I don't have the notebook, but actually no, I do. Hold on, I'll show you. Hey, it's right here on my desk.
That's so awesome.
I kept a ledger. So I was a financial planner for 11 years before before I did this for a living. So I had a monthly ledger of me, like what I was making, and I was doing rolling 7, rolling 15, and rolling 30-day averages to see like if it was sustainable. And I told myself if I could do it for 3 months, where I could pay all of my household bills on just what I made from streaming from YouTube and Twitch, that I would quit. And that happened. That was March 31st of 2018 or 2019. So April Fool's Day 2019 is when I was able to be a full-time content creator. Yeah,
it wasn't necessarily a joke, was it? It was real.
No, and it was funny because at the time I was averaging like 40, 50 viewers. Yeah. But it's like how Velian's stream goes, or like even yours to an extent, where like you don't have the audiences of like thousands of people, but those little tight-knit communities, they just like they want to keep you on the screen, so they just like throw fucking donos at you.
Yeah, we have some of the most the most generous communities, you know. Your community, my community, Vel's community. There's a lot of people like that in the Tarkov community. A lot of people will come to me and they'll ask, like, Gino, hey, how many viewers do I need to make this full time? I'm like, dude, you don't need an average viewership, right? Like, you just need generous people. You need good people in your stream, you know. And that's just how it is. When I think of you, little OnePeg, and what you kind of stand for, you do great content. I mean, I can go on tangents about how great you are, and what you do is phenomenal. But I do want to say that the way that you treat like haters is hilarious. I know there was a Twitter before that you made of YouTube comment replies. I do remember that.
I got rid of that.
I wanted to ask though, have you always been this way? Like, have you always been like a joking guy towards other people?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I used to get in trouble all the time. Like, I'm like, it wouldn't. So here's the thing: is like, I make the mistake of assuming that other people have the sense of humor that I have.
Yep.
And out in public, I act just like this when I'm out in public. Like I'm just over the top sarcastic because I think I'm funny. And it's gotten me in trouble a few times where it's like, oh, this guy wants to kill me now. And automatically, like, the switch gets thrown. Like, look, dude, I didn't mean to offend you. I'm just a moron. Like, don't mind. Like, I'm really sorry. Let me buy you a beer. You know, like, my bad. Like I now understand that you want to drag me out back and beat the shit out of me. That's my fault. Like,
no.
100%. And I can hold my own. Like, I'm not, like, you've met me. Like, I'm not a small guy. Like, I can hold my own, but I really don't want to, like, you know, get myself bloodied up over me being a meme lord, you know?
No, I get you 100%.
Pretty much always been like that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Which is silly because, like people think that I'm like this big, like, self-centered, like, haughty douchebag because of like certain Twitter responses I give people, just because, all right, well, if you're trying to be a dick, like, I'm not going to be nice to you. And like, you're supposed to kill people with kindness on socials, and I hate that. Like, I just like, I can't high road people. Like, I don't know. I should. No, honestly, like, I should react to them the way that, like, you handle people, because, like, my life would be like a lot less like people wouldn't be taking shots at me constantly if I was just like, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way, you know?
Usually it's the other way around, dude. I'll be honest, I get a lot of hate because I'm too nice. Like, bro,
really?
like, I've responded to people.
Do you think you're fake?
No, well, that and the fact that I responded to a dude's comment on YouTube the other day, and he was like, I can't stand you seeing me, or I can't stand me seeing you on YouTube. Like, please block me. I'm like, dude, for one, why the fuck do I gotta block you? Just block me yourself. And then I hit him up. I was like, hey, homie, I'm sorry you're not enjoying the content. He was like, I hate that you're nice to me right now. I should be treated with disrespect. I'm like, why even fucking comment if you want disrespect? Like, it doesn't make sense.
I am a black hole. You will match my energy. God damn it.
It goes both ways. It seems, man. It's like it's like if you're a super hateful person and you treat people with hate, you get hate because you're a dickhead. But if you're super fucking nice, you're fake and you should be treating people with disrespect. It's like a constant paradox, you know?
Well,
it doesn't
just
make
goes
sense.
to show you, right? You will never please everyone.
You won't. You won't ever.
Ever.
It pisses me off.
I think what it is, like even more so, I think it's just that like I make those comments toward people, and it's just like in my head, it's like, oh, I'm gonna have fun with them. You know, it gives me like 10 minutes of like, this guy's a moron. What I've tried to actually get away from that. I used to be way worse. Like if you remember, like old me, I was way worse. I would go in on people, and it started getting into like when I was live and stuff. Like there was a point redemption at one point in time that people would take for me to like just roast the shit out of them. Yeah. Like they would want me to tear them up. But the problem was that the people that were redeeming it, I got to know well enough to where it was like, if I roast you, I'm gonna really hurt your feelings. Like I don't want to be that guy.
Like I know your family.
Like, really,
dude.
there were a couple people. It's like, dude, I know you too well. I can hurt you. I'm not gonna do that.
That's so funny.
Yeah, like seriously, like I was just, I can't do that. So I started realizing that I started looking like really petty, and I didn't want that anymore. So I started like really moving away from it and trying to be like much more inviting and that kind of thing. The snark in me still bleeds out around the edges where it's like, why are you being mean? You know, like I get that from people sometimes, but I just kind of like take the Sequisha approach, and I'm just like, fuck you, man. Like,
I need to take that approach more often, because listen, man, it hurts me sometimes to like say some nice things about somebody. Like they'll give me the most outrageous threat, and I'm like, I hope you get help, homie. Hope you're doing okay at home. You know, like I'll say some shit like that, and I've done that. It pisses them off. It really does. But at the same time, I do it because I genuinely like. I was talking to my good friend Manny about this the other day. Is that like I want to treat everybody as a human, because that's important to me. You know, but the people that hate on me want me to dehumanize them, right? They'll hit me with a hate comment. I'll respond to them with a human comment, right? I'll hit them up with like, "Hey, I hope you're doing okay." But then they'll be like, "Wait, why do you listen to me though?" Because I'm a hater on the internet. It's like they want me to dehumanize them with my original comment, or not listen to them at all. They're just
don't engage.
Yeah.
They just want to be able to like spew some vitriolic shit and then just like move on with their day.
It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense.
And then you rope them back in, and they're like, "Why are you talking to me?"
The worst is when I'll hit.
So weird,
dude. The worst is when I hit somebody with like a comment, like "I hope you're doing," or actually, the few times that I do get mad at somebody, like I'll be like, "Bro, your mom's a hoe" or some shit, and they'll be like, "Holy shit, dude! Like I was just joking. Like you can't take a joke." It's like you said you wanted to kill my entire family line, dude. What do you fucking mean? What do you?
Like, well, that was. I mean, and honestly, like some of that attention is the reason why I've moved away from doing certain things. Like, like I stopped doing Twitch Rivals tournaments because I killed Landmark and Clean. You know, and Tony and Stefan are good buddies of mine. And like Stefan was like my homie at the time that like that tournament that I participated in went on. But I killed everybody's favorite streamer. And then what made it worse though is I killed Tony was like standing in a tower on reserve in one of the corners, and I heard him running around, so I just kind of like chilled waiting for him to come down. And then as he emerged and I emerged, like I shot him with a vector, and then it was like dudes were coming in telling me to kill myself and shit.
No, it's bad.
And clean, I sniped Clean with an iron sights Mosin down the side of interchange at like 80 meters. Right in the side of the head, like as he was walking out. And the moment he got tapped, he goes, "I bet that was OnePeg." The moment I tapped him, and then he goes, "Yep, sure was," and starts cracking up laughing. And then everybody was like, "You fucking rat!" And I was like, just W key, like walking forward down the road. You know, like it wasn't even hiding. Like I was like out in the open. It's just like that kind of stuff. I just didn't need the attention.
I don't blame you, dude. I don't blame you.
I don't need that.
It was my first Twitch Rivals. Actually, I have a little story similar to this. Is my first Twitch Rivals, I got killed by another streamer. And I had 5 dudes come in and say, "Oh my God, thank God my streamer just killed the most annoying streamer on Twitch." It's like, dude, I have 40 viewers right now. You don't know me. Like, you really don't. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how are you going to tell that to me? Like, the most annoying Tarkov streamer.
7 seconds of your content and moved on. I know exactly who you are.
Oh my God, man. Moving on though, moving on, OnePeg. I wanted to say I'm personally so excited for this podcast. Me and you actually played a while ago, And I don't know if you remember this, but the first time that we played together, I team killed you for money. I believe it was either you team killing me or I team killed you.
Doing it to each other for money, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was for money. I wouldn't have just killed you straight up.
For money.
Yeah.
It
was the first ever raid,
about
though.
It in advance, and I was like, look, we take donos to murder our friends here.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
first raid, we got one of us smoked the other. I don't know, remember.
I think you killed me.
Yeah, that was fucking crazy. That was a really fun day, though. That was a really fun day.
Yeah, it's good times.
I can't tell you how much I can't tell you how much I appreciate you, OnePeg, and I'm honored to have you on the podcast. I just wanted to say coffee cheers to you, brother. Coffee cheers. But I gotta ask, since it's a mental health podcast, man, how are you as a person?
I'm not at my worst, but I've been better.
Okay.
I guess I'll put it that way.
Hey, it's more than enough for me.
There's a lot of stuff going on with family right now that like need not be discussed, but I'll say that like I have never been tested as heavily as I'm being tested right now.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm still here. We're working through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Family shit is rough. You know,
it's rough because it's oftentimes something that you have to deal with it. You know, it's not like if it's with a friend of yours, like it's not something you have the choice to deal with something, you know, family shit, you have to deal with it. You know, it's your fucking family, right? So no, I fully understand, man, and I hope it clears up for you eventually, man. I hope you.
It will. There's like major life changes kind of stuff that's going on, but it'll get sorted.
Yeah, it'll get better, man. The storm will pass eventually, brother. Let's get into a more light conversation before we get into some of the deep questions. We're going to go into gaming. I've always known you through the Tarkov community, OnePeg, and now I do know that you play Dark and Darker nowadays. But with the wipe being a few months ago, I wanted to ask, how has it been going for you? I think I know this answer. I don't think you played much because Dark and Darker is better.
I did like two straight weeks. I want to say, and like, you know, through the drop streams and all that stuff, and you know, Iron Man it pretty hard for a while, and then I don't know, I got to like I want to say like 30s or so. Like I wasn't really killing myself. I mean, I put in the hours on like the drop stuff, but I want to say I got into like my 30s or so, and then I was just like, I miss running around in the dungeon, so I'm gonna go do that, and then I did that.
Dude, Dark and Darker is a lot of fun. I played 10 hours of it. So I don't know if I can necessarily say it's fun in this gaming world nowadays.
I have a few more hours than that.
Yeah. No, you have killed it, man. You have done the exact what I would love to do to a video game and find enjoyment in a video game. The problem is I can't find that game. I hope Great Zone's good. Once Human has been a blast. I don't know if you've seen that. I've been playing that with friends.
I've got I don't know, a little over 100 hours probably between the two like betas. I'm playing this one like a little bit here and there.
Yeah. No, it's been a lot of fun.
I think I'm through like the second area boss or whatever.
Oh hell yeah, yeah. That's
on
sick.
To like the third area.
Oh yeah, we might be on the same server, dude.
Yeah, I'm playing on the one that Goth is on. It's like Starlight C or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're on Starlight J. Okay, well, I mean, that's okay. Yeah, I've been enjoying fucking Once Human. I've been loving it, dude. Dark and Darker.
Once Human's pretty good. Yeah.
I wish I could get into. I think I need a stack. Is it a game that you need like a stack for? Like Dark and Darker?
Yeah, you get a couple like hard carries, man. You can do some fun stuff.
Yeah, so you're saying that you
I'll run with you anytime you want, man.
Dude, I
run like the 2-man and the 3-man map solo most days.
Oh.
Just kind of like fucking.
Oh yeah, just because you're that guy.
I'm not taking on like 3-man squads, but I tend to like try to solo out the missions and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll take on them if I have to, and I always try to take it. Like almost always, I'll take one with me.
Yeah.
You know, so like somebody's dying, like you picked a fight, let's go. Like, and I'm gonna man up. You know what I mean? Like ring the bell, and then I usually take one with me.
Yeah.
Sometimes we end up getting a 3-piece. It's really fun when that happens. But
I know you're an old dude, OnePeg, but I know you still got them gaming skills of a young person, brother. All right?
You're an old dude, he goes.
Listen, man, I saw your quote tweet. All right, I saw your quote tweet on the fucking Coffee with Genooo. All right. I gotta hint that you're old eventually.
Genooo. Yeah.
That's funny, man. If I know anything about you, though, OnePeg, you're a big advocate for being a part of a games community, right? You Dark and Darker, Tarkov. You're very vocal about issues, and it seems you really enjoy the sense of community. I assume that's true? You like the community part of video games?
Yeah. I think I like the commonality in it for sure. You know, and it's cool like when you're able to, especially at like cons and stuff, like you know how it is. Like you meet people that are familiar in the community and whatnot, and get to know them is really kind of nice. Like getting to meet people. And, you know, like the big group photos and stuff. It's just like, yeah, you know, like these are the homies. Like we all like games. Like video games are neat. You know.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like it's good seeing like-minded people.
Yeah, 100%. And it's crazy to think how far gaming has come. Like even when I started gaming, you know, it was, you know, I was 9 years old, but I would have never imagined that my life would be meeting up with people that I share the same interests in a game with, you know, like meeting up with people all across the country, you know, having people from a bunch of different countries that watch me. You know, this podcast, for example, is watched through like 53 countries right now, which is absolutely crazy, man, considering
Hell yeah.
I feel like a small town kid from the United States. You know what I'm saying? I don't think of myself as like anything more than that, right? But it's crazy how cool our communities are, and how cool how much we reach out to other people, or well, in our content gets everywhere almost. It's crazy, man.
Dude, isn't the internet neat? If you think about it,
it's really cool. It's crazy. I don't know. This is gonna make you think a little bit. OnePeg. You ever just look outside one day and you're like, how do we get rocks and sticks to become Wi-Fi and Bluetooth? Like, I've been thinking about that all the time, dude. Like, how the fuck did we take just some rocks and sticks and maybe a little bit of metal, and we're like, yeah, let's make a router. You know, like, bro, that's crazy to me, dude.
And then you think about like all of the like, you know, thousands and thousands of miles worth of fiber optic line that's run like through the oceans.
Yeah, no.
And, like to like most major cities and stuff, like transatlantic, transpacific, all that stuff.
So crazy.
And then you're like, and then you end up doing this, right? And you make a little podcast, or you're running live or whatever. Yeah. And then some dude like on the other side of the globe, because of a bunch of wires that are run through the water, can see all of that at the same time as you're doing it.
And then he can put hate comments on it. You know, you can also put hate comments and display that. And then
you can be a hater. You can be a hater in fucking Zimbabwe if you want to be.
Yeah, it's crazy. Fuck yeah, hating other people is great, dude.
Hell yeah, dude. Let's go.
I'll be honest though, OnePeg. I don't know many games you enjoy besides Tarkov and Dark and Darker. What are some of your favorites nowadays?
I have 15,000 hours in Dota.
Okay, damn. I think I knew that.
I've been playing Dota since the Warcraft 3 days.
Jeez, you are old, huh?
Damn. Long time. Back when Youll was still running shit, and before IceFrog took over, and before he pitched it to Valve and stuff. Yeah. So there's a lot of time there. I was CS 1.6 Pro way back when, like 1999 and shit.
Yeah, before that's craziest.
Yeah, I'm fucking old, dude.
You know, when I was born, your last statement, you were a pro in 1999. I was born in 2001. You were. I was negative 2 years old.
My son was born in 2005. My 18-year-old son.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm fucking old. You could literally be my kid. It's weird.
That I could. That's
you could.
I'll be honest. Most people we have on the podcast, I could probably be their kid. I'm not gonna lie to you. I seem to be the one youngster in the Tarkov community for whatever reason. And even the other youngsters that are my age, they're treated with like they're a grown man. But me, it's like, oh, dude, I'm a fucking child. You know?
I don't know, man. There's a few dudes in the Tarkov community that I think are children. Way more than you. Yeah, no, I agree.
So. I try to come off older than I am. That's what I got going for me, is that I feel as though I come off as a 30-year-old. You know, I am 22, but I feel as though I'm mature enough to realize that life sucks, and it just, you know, you gotta accept life sucking sometimes, you know. And I think I've realized that at a very young age, and I just matured from it, you know.
Yeah, like you got like 10 points in gratitude.
Yeah, I started with that, right? Like when I was, you know, birthed, right? I put the skill points up.
Full roll on gratitude.
Yeah,
on the skill points for sure.
Exactly. We're talking about gaming. This is a Julie question, so we're gonna move past that one. Hold on. I said, I copy and pasted that. I did want to ask though, any games that coming out that you're excited for? I know there's a couple MMOs coming out this year. Are you an MMO enjoyer? Let me start off with that. MMO enjoyer.
So like it's silly to talk about this kind of stuff because like I'm not like 28 to 33. Yeah. Like I've got a lot of years in, so I've been able to do a lot of fun shit. So with all the time in Dota and CS, that was dwarfed by the amount of time I spent playing WoW. So,
Dude,
which in my name comes
WoW.
from like a really obscure WoW reference.
Yeah.
So I remember when WoW began, and I played World of Warcraft from the day that vanilla started. When Wrath came out, I was top 5 world ranked Death Knight.
Oh my god.
In DPS.
DK, bro. Oh,
Yeah.
let's go.
I basically in like way back in the day, during the vanilla days, I basically invented like the shitty like perma stun lock rotation for rogues with Thistle Tea and shit, like like using cooldowns and burning people in 10 seconds before they ever had a chance to react. And then for Death Knight, I more or less like wrote the book on like dual wield Frost. Before like you could really run parses and like have bots determine like your best rotations and shit. And way before you had like all the proc windows and everything, and it was like solid rotation kind of stuff. Like I forgot how to do all that shit now. Like it's all fucking gone. Yeah. But yeah, I have characters in World of Warcraft with like years of played time.
So sick. And you don't play anymore? I've been loving WoW. I've been recently playing it.
I will dabble when like new expansions come out, but then it's like, so World of Warcraft is a real strong way for your channel to get murdered. If you do it live and you're not known for WoW, right? Like if you're not Towley, you're gonna burn. So in my case, it was like, oh, I can play this off stream, which then takes away from my ability to earn, or you know, I can kind of like mess around in it for a little while and then just put it up. So, because you have to live in it, right? Like I'm like I don't come off as hyper competitive anymore, but I'm hyper competitive like at my core. Like I actually want to like, you know, you get me on a basketball court, I will fucking ruin people. Just because like that's how I'm wired, right? But I don't do that anymore. Like when I'm live and on stream and everything, I try to do stuff that keeps me away from that side of me, because like that side of me is mean. So like I get mean and competitive, and I start like telling people when they're fucking up and stuff, and I don't want to be that guy. And I used to like run raids and stuff in World of Warcraft, and I would like pick people apart. And I just don't want to be that person.
You're that guy. You're that guy in the Mythic Plus, bro, that's yelling at somebody else for fucking up a key, dude.
Fucking asshole. Because like because I wouldn't make I don't typically, it's not ever, but like typically in those situations, like I don't make mistakes. Like I'm fucking Iron Man. Like I'll just go and other people would make mistakes, and then I start pointing them out, and then everybody gets miffed. So I stay away from that stuff now. Like I don't do that. Like I'll do some dungeon runs and shit, or like I'll go to some battlegrounds or whatever, or fuck around. But yeah, I don't get into the heavy rating side of it, because it's such a time sink and time commitment that you just don't have time for it unless you're gonna make it full time, and then I don't have the audience for that. Like they don't want to see that from me.
100%. And you are correct. It does kill your channel. I mean, nobody really likes watching MMOs. They like playing them. You know, it's very
other games, survival MMOs, right? So I have a couple thousand hours in Conan Exiles. I love that game. It's one of my favorite games ever. And then the same company, Funcom, they made Anarchy Online back in the day. They made Conan Exiles, and then they're making the new Dune Awakening MMO.
Oh, dude, I saw the trailer for that, bro. I want to see gameplay. I don't think there's any gameplay.
I can't say anything like specific because I'll get in trouble, but I am working with them a little bit on some stuff. So
that's cool.
It hasn't I signed the NDA, you know.
100%.
But 100%. So like moving forward, there might be some cool stuff with me and that game,
because that game sick.
Like I fucking love Conan, and like and what I can do is I can talk about public stuff. So Conan, their building system I think is second only to Ark. I think Ark has the best building system I've used. Although Enshrouded is really fucking good. Enshrouded might be the best.
Yes, Enshrouded.
Enshrouded's sick.
Saint was just saying this the other day. Enshrouded has the best building system, because we were talking about Once Human, right? With Once Human, it's pretty cool. You can take your entire house and move it, right? You can move the entire
the Fallout 76 thing.
That's where you so sick. Yeah. Enshrouded is really good building. Rust has some good building too. They used to have some.
Rust is okay.
I've never had Ark building, so tell me, Conan has really good building.
So it's not so much that it's like Conan has a good building system. They have a really good building system. There's a lot of stuff that you can do with like if you can do the math right. Like there's like triangle pieces, but it's not like how Rust works with triangle pieces where everything like snaps and will like conform to those angles. Conan holds like strong to like the 32-degree angle, fucking whatever, on their like triangle pieces. So you can like stagger them out and then like have gaps like that are this wide with walls. So you can you can make like 20 layer like wall thick base stuff if you want to. It takes effing forever to do it, but there's a lot of like usually the building systems when it comes to competitive games that have like siege mechanics like Ark and whatnot, it's always about like what kind of janky shit you can get away with to like reinforce your stuff and take up as little space as possible. So like with Ark you could like layer walls like inside of walls, so you could have shit that was like 7 layers deep but it's like just on like one like wall wide. With this game it's not necessarily like that, but the thing about Conan that made Conan like really cool was their wall climbing stuff. So any wall, if you wanted to, as long as you had the stamina, you could just run up and jump into a wall and you would like latch onto it and like start fucking Spider-Man climbing like up the cliff face. So they had like all these scaling mechanics. That made the game like really, really cool because there was a lot of like verticality and stuff that you could do with like certain cliff faces, and you could build yourself in a way that was made to like scale walls, and there was climbing gear that made like your stamina drain way slower and all this stuff. Dune is doing that, so they're incorporating that wall climbing mechanic with the Dune game, along with like all of the other stuff, like being able to use they have like this grappling hook. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head because it's in the books and I haven't read them forever. But there's like a grappling hook that you can use to like pull yourself, like shoot yourself up a wall, and you can detach that, and they have like a slow fall mechanic on a belt where you get like these jets that will kind of like let you like slow fall, but it holds momentum, so you can like slingshot yourself up into the air and it'll carry the momentum. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of like really fast moving like traversal kind of stuff that I think will add some really cool elements to it, on top of like all the other survival mechanics and being able to like fly thopters and everything. I think it's gonna be sweet.
That's so cool, man. I'm excited because when I read the Dune book, I was so confused on chapter 1 that I stopped reading it. So I'm glad that they're coming out with a game so I can understand the game, like the lore a little bit. It's
religious jihad. That's what the book is about, basically. That's it. I mean, it's one group got decimated by another group, and the group that got decimated decided they were going on a religious crusade to take out the other guys. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Exchanging like one power hungry overlord for another, more or less.
Yeah, I got to the first chapter and they introduced maybe like 53 characters, and I was like, yep, this is not the book for me.
Have you watched the movies?
I have not. I heard the Dune Awakening, or what is it? Dune Awakening Part 2? The new one that just came out?
There was Dune and then Dune Part 2.
Yeah.
The first movie, they weren't sure if it was going to get the audience to even make the second one.
Yeah.
So they didn't start production on the second one until the first one like kind of hit the theater, and then they went, oh, this makes money, and then they started going with the other two. So
I heard they're really good.
Three-parter.
Yeah?
They're really good. Really good. Yeah. They made them very well. There's an older one too. There's like a 4-hour movie that you can go and watch from like the 80s.
Okay.
That's like it's the full story. It's pretty true to the books, I think. And then there's like a TV series too that ran for a little while.
Oh my god, I didn't know that. I just thought it was. I just knew there were like 43 books. I think it's like an 8-book series. I think.
Do you know like this? Do you know like any of the main story behind?
No, I don't. Like I said, I opened at the chapter 1. I got so damn confused that I was like, "Yep, I'm not reading this," and I went back to my self-help book.
The story is basically Star Wars, but not for pussies.
Oh, okay.
Like Star Wars is like almost like handholdy and like kind of cute. Like nothing about Dune is cute.
Okay.
Like at all. It's about like espionage and like counter espionage and a lot of politics and a lot of like gerrymandering and basically the center of the whole story is this giant desert planet that has almost no water on it, called Arrakis, or not Arrakis, or otherwise known as Dune. And one group controls it, another group wants to control it, and the whole point is that they pull spice. This element called spice out of the sand that works like fuel to power all of their like interstellar like light speed engines. Without it, they can't power their giant spaceships to like zip to light speed and like travel across the galaxy and stuff. It's the most valuable commodity in the universe, as far as they're aware. So anyone that controls it is basically like the richest people in the fucking galaxy. So it's this constant like vying for control over who gets to like mine the spice. And then there's these indigenous people that live on the planet that is watching their planet basically be harvested of its natural resources, and they hate it. So they try to stay out of people's way, but like they inevitably end up clashing over it. And there's giant sandworms the size of like
I
towns.
saw that in the trailer for the game. I think the big ass sandworms. I'm excited.
And the people
for
that
it.
live on the planet worship the sandworms like they are God.
Okay. That sounds like something that I need to start reading. Maybe I should retry.
Really cool, man. The just like the politics and stuff involved. You're just like shit. Like some cutthroat motherfuckers, Like,
hell cool. Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, like it's like I said, man. It's like Star Wars, but it's none of it is cute. Like it's very cutthroat, and like everybody dies. Like it's
My one mod said it's like Star Wars if George Lucas knew how to fucking write. That's hilarious.
George Lucas wrote the original Star Wars like he was on a giant acid trip anyway. So like people had to rope his ass in. It was like when Tolkien originally wrote like the Lord of the Rings, and like hobbits had nipples and you could milk them. Like and then like the editor kind of went like, bro, like it was like it's crazy.
That's questionable. That's a little weird. Yeah. Oh, man. I wanted to ask OnePeg, with Tarkov being a big part of both of our lives, outside of Tarkov, what do you think the future of gaming looks like? I'll be honest, when I was in Loot Fest, when I was at Fort Worth, we played the VR machine, right? And it was like the IRL.
Oh, yeah, you went to the like the big arena thing?
Yeah. That shit was a lot lot of fun. And an absolute blast, and I think that's the future.
Was it full
of
VR or was it augmented reality?
VR? I don't know what
augmented is like. Augmented is like you can see the room, but there's like stuff in the room. Versus VR is like the whole room is like you don't see through the goggles. Like it's just like the whole thing is like a TV screen on your face.
Yeah, it was a TV screen, but you go into a big room because you have to walk around, right? And you have like your gun and stuff. It was so much fucking fun. And I wanted to ask, what do you think the future is? You think it's VR?
I mean, I think VR's coming. The problem with VR for like old heads like me is like you get super motion sick with them because I can't do the VR thing. I get motion sick as hell. It would be the same thing if I was in like a racing rig that had pneumatics where it like moved. I wouldn't be able to do that because I would get motion sick from like getting jostled around. It's like it's the peripheral vision thing,
Yeah, 100%.
The VR, if I'm walking, like physically walking, it wouldn't be nearly as bad because I would know that I'm like moving through space. But like the Z movement, like if I'm sitting in a chair and I'm like wearing VR and like moving like in a Z plane, like I can actually like see myself like moving around. It fucks my equilibrium all up and I get like instantly motion sick. I can't do it. It's going that way though, I think. And I think it'll be continuously like more and more adopted as time goes on. Is my guess.
Yeah.
In terms of like macro levels of tech, I also think like on the peripheral side of things, I think like the AI stuff is going to get much more involved.
Yeah.
And I think there's going to be an awful lot of legislation, especially around like asset generation.
Yeah.
When it comes to AI, I think that like especially when it like voice actors and visual artistry and like that kind of stuff, a lot of companies are going to be going toward the AI model for like cost saving. I think. And I worry about like people in the industry that have been doing this as their craft, kind of getting screwed because a lot of stuff will be based on their artwork or it'll be based on their voice model or something like that. And I think there's going to be a lot of litigating going on.
I agree,
especially since like SAG-AFTRA doesn't protect like voice actors in video games. It's not part of their contract. They got fucked. So it only pertains to like TV and movies. And like radio stuff, they didn't get included at all on the gaming side of things. They basically like just left video game studios out of that entire like union contract. Yeah, so there's definitely going to be some stuff. With that,
I've been curious about the whole AI thing. I've seen some hyper realistic videos that look very real. I'm curious what's going to happen if somebody, AI makes a scene of somebody shooting at somebody else and showing it in court. I'm curious if there is, like, how do you defend something like that hyper realism? How are they gonna tackle that? Right?
I think for like the general public, that's the deep fake stuff kind of like hooks people into believing certain things that aren't necessarily real, and I think that's going to be harder and harder to discern, like as a layperson. On the like really involved side of things, it's going to be like it'll be exactly like the whole like cheating versus cheat detection thing that we see in video games, where it's like you're going to have people that specialize in what they're looking at to be able to tell you why something is real or not.
Yep.
And that is crazy, because when it gets to that point, it's going to be like the rest of us aren't going to know like what the hell we're looking at. Like, and if you think about it, like 2 years ago, you could easily spot whether something was AI generated because their hands would be all fucked up, or you know, like they'd have like a spaghetti monster growing out of their neck or something because the AI generation was so wonky. But now it's like it's almost indiscernible. Like you can tell now if you like really look.
Yeah.
But like quick glance or something, glance, you can't see if like
I can only imagine.
There's content creators now that are getting roped into like certain bits of drama because somebody would generate like some piece of AI, whatever, where
I've seen that.
Somebody's spewing like racial epithets about stuff, and it's not like Sam Hyde just got like roped into something. He's like, that's obviously not me. Like I've never said that. And it's just weird now that you have to like or like people that work as adults entertainers, you know, having like the AI generated faces put over like a porn star's body. You know, like those, like that shit is wild. Crazy to me.
I don't know what they're gonna do. It's gonna be a wild few years, I think, in regards to AI and what they have to do with it. It's gonna be crazy. I wonder if that's a job opportunity that somebody could get. Is like a government backed,
like a forensicist.
Somebody like that, like an AI decipher or something like that. You know, somebody that can fucking decipher if it's AI or not is definitely something in the future. I did want to bring up a stream, Mr. OnePeg. I'm going to stream at the Discord. I don't know where my mouse is. There it is. I'm going to take off my camera and I'm going to actually stream it on Discord. We have. I made this in Paint last night, or not in Paint. I made this in Photoshop last night just for you, by the way. But we're gonna do it through Paint so that we can have fun. Here, I'm streaming it. Give me a second. I want to make sure that the scene goes right. There we go. All right, right here, you're probably wondering what the fuck this is. I want you to make your dream Tarkov stack. Okay, so number one, clearly, we're gonna put yourself. Okay, with both of us loving Tarkov, you know, we got to do a Tarkov stack. So right here, I'm gonna write this in, and I apologize.
We're picking about our 5-man is what we're doing.
Yeah. So right here, this is OnePeg, because you got to be in your own 5-stack, right? But I want your dream Tarkov 5-stack. I don't know if you can do 5-mans in Dark and Darker. Can you?
3-man. 3-man in Dark and Darker, but that's okay.
I wish I would have done that. Yeah, we'll do 5-man for Tarkov.
That's fine. That's fine.
So number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Feel free to list off as you want, you know, and give maybe a little description, like why you putting it there.
Number 2, Velian. I'm gonna take Vel.
I hate that guy.
I'm gonna take Vel just because at the end of the day, on the way to extract, I know that I can always turn and shoot him in the ear for memes.
Oh, that will be a Twitter clip. All right. Well, that's a good explanation.
Yeah. You should ask him about he's never forgotten the golden TT incident. I'm just gonna say that.
I'll bring that up to him next time I play. I was playing with him the other day.
He's gonna lose his mind. He's gonna lose his mind. Like Valiant is so funny. He'll be kind of like doing whatever, and then all of a sudden he'll be like, ah! Like he just starts screaming. And he's like, Peg. Yeah, what's up, man? Bro, so this thing happened. So I was running around this corner, and then like I saw Rashala, and then I started shooting at Rashala, right? And then, so I'm shooting at him, and then out of nowhere, one of his guards just comes around the corner. He just shoots me in the face. Like, fuck this game. Like, he's so funny,
dude. Man. Why are you so good at that, Peg? What the hell, dude? That was so perfect.
He's so funny, dude. I actually love that guy. Like he's like a super wholesome dude. Like he's hilarious. Like, and he latches on to compliments like a golden retriever. So like one time, like 3 months ago, I mentioned that I thought that he was like a really good dad, because he is. Like he takes really good care of his son. Like his son is his whole life. He's a really, really good dad, and he's like, dude, you told everybody that you think I'm a good dad. Like, I knew you liked me. Like, he's just so funny.
Yeah,
he's just so funny.
We love Bell, man. We love Bell.
Number 3, Batty.
Batty?
Yeah.
I've never
Batty's
played games with Batty, but I've met him so many times in person, and I can tell you he's my favorite person to get drunk with. I'll tell you that right now.
Dude, I love that man. I love that man.
Batty's such a good dude.
I want to give him hugs and like stroke his beard and stuff.
Yeah,
he's a great dude.
for sure. Yeah,
he really is. Like he's some of the best of us, dude. Like he treats people the way that they should be treated.
100%, and he's a very positive person too. He kind of he's kind of somebody that
he's not. That's the best part about it.
That is the best part. That's how you know he's a real ass dude. Is that he tries to display positivity, but then he also is like, I'm not positive, dude. What are you fucking talking about? Like, I'm a dickhead. You know, it's like, dude, we all know that you're positive, bro. You know, like, it's just how it is. He's a good dude.
He's chaotic good, right down to the letter. Like,
100%.
He's so funny. Like
100%.
He'd walk, like I was sitting next to one of my friends at Loot Fest. I was sitting next to one of my friends, and Batty hadn't met them before. And he just sits down. He's like, "Who the fuck are you?" Like, I'm like, "Bro, what?" I'm like, "Oh, that's just Kyle." You know? Like, yeah. Well, I mean, tell him. You know?
Yeah.
It's just so like he tries to come off like all like high energy and aggressive and stuff, and then you're like, all right, well, my name's Mike, and he's like, oh, nice to meet you. Like, just like completely dry. It's just so funny, man.
Such a good person, and what I love about him most is that he's even funnier in person. And like, don't get me wrong, he's a hilarious dude, but like in person, like when I'm around him, I'm laughing the entire time. He's so I love Batty. He's such a good dude.
You know who's one of the funniest? Like, it might be the funniest person that I've ever come, like, just naturally funny person is Reefy.
Dude, 100%. Oh my god, that
so the last day of Loot Fest, we went to the bar to get a couple of beers. Yeah. Right? We're sitting at this old Irish pub. We're like the only people in this whole place.
I was in that. I think I was there. I want to say
wait. Were we at the High Tops? We were drinking car bombs or whatever?
I wasn't up there. I was on the dance floor gritting.
Different bar. It was before the 80s one.
Oh, yeah. No. I wasn't there. That. Yeah, we went go-karting.
We walked to that bar and then met you guys over there. But so yeah, we're sitting at this like Irish pub, and it's Reefy and myself and Arson and Lena and a couple of other people. And we're chilling there, and Reefy gets up. He's like, I gotta go take a piss. So we're like, okay. So he disappears. It's like 10 minutes, and he hadn't come back yet. I'm like, dude, like maybe he didn't. Maybe he had to poop. I don't know. So then one of the other people in the group, I don't know, it was maybe it was Batty or I think it was Jay. Jay gets up to like go to the bathroom too. He's like, well, I gotta pee. So he gets up and he starts walking to the bathroom, and then Reefy, like the moment that Jay walks in, you count like 3 seconds. Reefy comes walking out, and sits down at the table. I'm like, all right, whatever. And then Jay comes walking back out, and he's like, bro, what were you doing? And he's like, what do you mean? And he's like, I walk in, and Reefy's standing there with his shirt up, just looking at his own nipples in the mirror. And we're like, what? And he's like, yeah, he was just like looking at his own nipples in the mirror. And Reefy goes, yeah, I just wanted to make it weird. We're like, what? He's like, yeah, I figured I would just stand there and hold my shirt up with my nipples out until the next person come walking in and looked at me like I was a fucking weirdo, and then I was just gonna leave.
And unfortunately, it was Jay, bro. Oh my god.
I'm like, he's such a comic that like he had no audience and he still fucked with people.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my god.
I fucking love that guy,
dude. Reefy
it was amazing.
That is another. Both of these people need to be on the podcast very, very soon. I've already asked Batty. We're in the works of trying to get him a date. Reefy is such a good dude. I haven't mentioned it to him, but man, they're hilarious and they're good people. They're very, 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 very good people. Oh,
okay,
man.
number 4?
Yeah, number 4. Moving on.
Lupo.
Okay.
Lupo.
Good dude again. Just another
I don't believe that there is someone in the content creation space that I respect more than him.
Yeah.
That's the honest truth. Yeah.
I agree.
And I'm not like super close to him. Like, like we know each other, like we're friendly. I don't like, I'm one of those people where like, unless I'm like really interacting with people like a lot, or like I've seen them in person, like we hung out a bunch or like went and got dinner or something, I don't typically refer to them as like, they're my friend. Lupo and I are friendly. We're acquaintances. I don't know if I would say that we're friends. Like I'm I'm obviously like gonna like hang out with him if he wanted to, you know what I mean? I'm more of a fan of his than anything, I think. But yeah, there isn't anybody in this gig that I respect more than him, especially considering like the charitable endeavors that he's undergone and like how he conducts himself. I think he's like and he would probably scoff at this, but I think that he's like the best of us, and I think he's somebody that people like in this business should be modeling themselves after.
100%.
He does it, all of it right. Yeah, and
he deserves everything that he gets and some. You know, like he's so talented as well. Like I'll be honest. When I first started streaming, I never really understood like the whole like what makes a streamer special. Right. And what I realized over the time is when you can tell somebody is a very good streamer by sitting in a Discord chat with them, either on stream or off stream. And the first time that I met Lupo, I laughed the entire time, and he just likes joking around with you. And I could tell right then and there why he's so successful. He's a funny dude, and he's a good person, which is awesome about your list. All of these guys are good people besides Velian, right? So like,
notice none of them are hyper competitive either. Well, Lupo's competitive, but he's not.
But he's not. Yeah,
his stream. He doesn't. His identity isn't like, oh, look at me, click good on people's face. Yeah. Like,
no,
you know
exactly, 100%. Lupo's such a good dude, and I could tell that he deserves so much and what he gets, right? Like he
absolutely,
he's such a good dude.
He's successful, and there's a reason why.
Yes,
right?
Exactly, 100%. Number 5. It's a good list so far. Oh my god.
Number 5.
The dream stack.
I'm torn. It's either gonna be, it would either be Fudge or it would be Sacriel.
Okay.
For the same reason.
Okay.
Fudge is like just a super nice dude.
Yeah.
And I met him, the first time I met him was back TwitchCon in 2022.
Yeah.
Like outside of the venue, like working on getting badges and stuff. Ever since then, like he's just been a total homie, man. Like he sent me like a little like Magic the Gathering like little dice hole, like a card holder thing with like a point counter and stuff on it. It was made out of wood. Thing is sick.
That's
I don't have it sitting right here. It's in the other room. Like so he sent me a Christmas gift. Like, dude he's just super nice, man. I like him a lot. He's just a good person. And then and Sacriel and I have so Sacriel is somebody that I was a fan of his before I got to know him. The reason why I started playing Tarkov is because I watched him play Tarkov years ago. Yeah. And was like, what is this game? And I didn't even have a PC that would run it. I had a MSI like gaming laptop with a 670M like in it. And it ran Shoreline at like 3 FPS or something. I was actually amazed I saw a single frame and then it just fucking died. Like I could hear the scavs and shit yelling at me and like shooting at me, and then I couldn't move or see or do anything. And then I actually took that laptop apart and parted it out on eBay so that I could build my first like stream or build my first PC so that I could actually run and play the game at 45 FPS or something. But he's the reason why I started content creation in the beginning to begin with. And then the way that the story went is I started making videos about like new stuff, and then I started making like little Tarkov tip videos, like little things that I found like along the way. Like I made a video about how like falling off of a higher ledge onto the ground, your feet didn't make any noise when you hit the ground. Yeah. You remember that? Like back in the day?
I do. Oh my god.
I made a tip video where I was like, if you walk off of a ledge, not jump, but if you walk off of a ledge onto a lower ledge, like when you hit the ground, it doesn't make any third party sound. You can't hear them. And I stopped into Sacriel's stream one day, and like he did something funny, and I just like wrote like LOL or something. Yeah. And he was like, "Hey, I know that name. I just watched your video and told everybody about how good your video was about the whole like falling from a higher level thing." And I was like, "He watched my content." Like I was sort of losing my mind. Yeah. And then time went by or whatever, and I was streaming, and then New World came around. And I dove into New World on the same server as him. And then we ended up like just kind of like gaming like alongside each other. And I ended up being really fucking good at that game because fucking MMOs. Yeah. And it had PvP shit. And then, I started dunking on people in that game like really hard. Went and did a Twitch Rivals, and I was first in the first round of Twitch Rivals, like out of everyone. Oh shit. and then through playing that, I got to know him better, and then we just started becoming like fast friends. And he's like been one of my bros like ever since then.
Yeah.
To where like for a while we were playing games every single day together for like 2 months.
That's
so and like he's moved on and started playing like other stuff now.
Yeah.
Like he's playing like Arma and like other shooters and things and that kind of stuff. But yeah, like
that's so cool.
I absolutely love playing video games with him. And he's like looked out for me and stuff too. Like he's gotten like sponsorship offers to like play, you know, a certain game for a certain amount of time. And needed like somebody to like run with, and offered me a portion of what he was being offered to stream it with him for the 2 hours or whatever.
That's such a good dude.
Just so that I got paid for doing it. And I was like, man, you don't have to do that. And like I'd tell him like, all right, well, you know, how about this much? And he'd be like, how about we do like 10 times that? And I'm like, what? Like for real? Like, oh, shit, fuck yeah, let's go. You know, he's just been like, he's super good. Like he's just been super good to me, and like a really, really good friend. And I adore the man.
That's so sick, man. That's I'll be honest, I envy you a little bit, because Sacriel is definitely somebody that I have looked up for so long. I haven't played much with him. I did kill him in Tarkov once, and I remember specifically the first time that I killed him in Tarkov, somebody in like the sound bit that I have in my streams, like where you can do like the sounds and stuff. I believe I got the like M4 sound right before I killed him, but I had a Mosin. So what happened was when I killed him, somebody perfectly timed the sound bit to make the M4 sound like I was killing Sacriel, right? So he watched it back, the clip back of me killing him, and he was like, "Where the fuck did this M4 come from?" And I was like, "It's a sound bit," and we kind of like had a friendly encounter that way, and then we played Arena together. The first day it come out, I want to say you were there. Were you? What? It was me, Fudge, Sacriel. I want to say, did you play Arena when it first came out the first day?
I played Arena on the day of launch. Yeah.
I want to say you were part of our stack. I want to say.
I don't know
though. Yeah, it was a long time ago, and that game kind of sucks. So it's it's one of those things where I don't really remember much of it. But dude, this is such a good list, man. You got yourself, you got Velian, you got Batty, you got Lupo, you got Fudge, and Sacriel, right? We'll put them both down because they're both good people. That's such a good list. Well, that's your list for your Tarkov stack. If there was a Twitch Rivals with this Tarkov stack, what place you getting in? I think Velian's gonna hold you down, man.
Not last.
Yeah, not last. Yeah. But
I'm
definitely
gonna say,
either,
like if it was like, I don't know, like let's say it's 10 teams.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it would be like 5th.
Okay.
I think it would be middle of the pack. Yeah.
Okay, Lupo's not gonna like that answer, but
yeah. Well, I mean, Lupo. I mean, Velian being the anchor. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
He's got the attention span of a goldfish. He doesn't know how to hold shit. He can't hold a corner to save his life. He's like, idiot, like I can't wait. And like you just run at people.
100%. Well, I appreciate you, OnePeg, doing that. We're gonna go into another conversation now, and we're gonna talk about coffee. I'm gonna pull your camera back up. We're gonna close that out. I appreciate you making that list. That was awesome.
Sure.
We're gonna move to the coffee conversation. Before we get into some of the deep questions, like I said, I wanted to know: are you a coffee drinker? I already know that answer.
Drinking coffee right now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I gotta ask. What's your favorite blend?
Honestly, man, it's just like Wegmans.
Okay.
Whole beans.
Nothing wrong with that.
I have a coffee grinder. I rip them up and make a cup of coffee in the morning.
I got dark roast, light roast. Like what do we?
I usually go like French roast. Like it's on the darker side.
Okay. Yeah. Well, do you want coffee?
Do I want coffee?
Yeah, I have a guy.
Like you have a guy that does coffee?
No, he's literally my coffee plug. Like he just he gets me coffee from everywhere, and I'm sure he'd love to send you some. So that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, you can send me things.
Yeah, we'll get you some stuff. We'll get you some stuff. 100%. I wanted to offer that. I did want to ask though, what's some of your favorite coffee or caffeine drinks? Do you like energy drinks more than coffee? I'm not an energy drink guy.
I'm not an energy drink person. Yeah. I was like a long time ago, and then I realized like there's so much caffeine in them, that it just makes you feel shitty.
No, 100%. The crash is terrible.
Yeah, I tend to go with coffee kind of like for the effect. It's not so much like
100%.
It's not like I crave like having a cup of coffee in the morning more so. It's just like I need caffeine.
Yeah.
Not too much though. I kind of gotta like ride that like middle ground.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, it's more than been like just a means to an end than it is anything else. But I did get so like Dark and Darker has been doing these like co-promos with Madrinas.
Oh
for a little while, where they were doing like like flavored coffees, and then it would come with like a little card for like an emote in the game or whatever. Actually, one of the cards is right here, so you get like these little bonus emotes.
Oh, that's sick.
So it would it'd be one of those things where you could like get something free in the game or whatever. And they did like 2 of those promos, and they ended up because I make content primarily about that game, so I got both of them. I don't like the cold brew, like the stuff that like it's like a mix and then you kind of just like stir it up in a cup of water. Like I don't like that stuff. It like the whatever additives they had in it didn't make me feel all that great.
Yeah.
But the whole bean stuff for Christmas, they had like this like chocolate cinnamon stuff, and like they coated the beans and whatever. So that stuff was delicious. Like that was really good. It was sick. It was a little bit of sugar in the cup, and it was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, man, it's just like store bought, like just like grocery store brand, like whole beans.
Okay.
Nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy. That you don't need something crazy with coffee. That's the thing. A lot of people try and overcomplicate it. I got my $8,000 machine to make this this lemon lime. Yeah, no, I get you 100%. I'm simple like that too. I'm glad that you said that you have a coffee grinder, because that is, in my opinion, the greatest thing that a coffee drinker could have. It makes,
I didn't have one until this year. It's good though. Yeah, it works good.
Oh my God, it's night and day difference for me. I think it's like one of the best things that you can get if you're a coffee drinker. Now going back to a conversation I think you just brought up, I gotta ask, iced or hot coffee?
Hot coffee. I like iced. I like iced. But like it's like liquid sugar iced from like Dunkin' or like even like McDonald's iced coffee. Like McDonald's coffee is actually really good.
Yeah.
But like an iced coffee from McDonald's. Liquid sugar though. Like if they put like the granulated stuff in the bottom, it's just like why? Like why are we even here?
Yeah. 100%. I know what you're saying. It just doesn't make any sense why they do a lot of that. But also with the ice stuff, like you mentioned, the sugar content is unreal. Like like 80 grams of shit, like 120% of your daily dose, and somebody. No wonder you're fucking waking up. Your body's trying to figure out a way to process all this sugar that you're getting. You know, it's crazy. Moving on though, you just brought up one of them: Starbucks or Dunkin'. Last question for
Starbucks coffee tastes like sewage. It's disgusting.
Really?
I fucking hate I hate Starbucks coffee. It's gross.
Okay, fuck Starbucks, dude. We hate them.
Fuck Starbucks.
I drink it every Wednesday.
Overpriced shit water. I fucking hate that stuff.
Fuck. You know what's crazy about Starbucks? I'll be honest. I go every Wednesday now for my breakfast because I'll be honest. I think what I like
aren't bad.
What I like about Starbucks is Dunkin' doesn't do a lot of breakfast items that I necessarily want. Like I like the egg, sausage, bacon wrap that from Starbucks. It's like it's kind of like a breakfast
the double
burrito.
Schmeat.
Yeah, the double schmeat. Exactly. The crazy thing is that it's just a microwave piece of, whatever, right? It's microwaved, and clearly I can tell that it's not freshly made, but it's good and I like it. The only problem I have is that it's $12 every Wednesday for my damn breakfast. I just don't understand that, but it's crazy, dude. But
so you only have breakfast there on Wednesdays?
Yeah, those are my off days. My off day is Wednesday, so I always try and Wednesday mornings I always try.
Off day. I need to do that.
Peg, I got two. Wednesday,
you take 2 days off a week?
Okay, well hold on. Wednesday is my video day and content creation day. Like I make videos outside, uploading the TikTok, scheduling shit, all of that stuff. Sunday is my true like family day. I spend time with family and stuff because
2 days off from streaming.
Yep.
Is it because he's making that podcast?
Yeah, I'm part. No, hell no. I'll be 100% honest with you. I've made $9 with this.
Geno Rogan.
Yeah, I'm just listen, man. You know how this podcast is, bro. I'm just trying to make a difference.
Slow.
Slowly but surely, baby. Yeah. Slowly but surely, but
dude, if you're having fun, that's all that matters. Honestly,
what the fun thing about this is that it's another. So I'll be honest, I've been pretty burnt out with streaming, especially Tarkov. Very burnt out, right? And recently, I'm doing the same thing every single day.
I know that feeling.
This podcast has allowed me to kind of like. It's not like a job, it's like a hobby. So I research this stuff or that stuff regarding a podcast. It's so cool. I love the podcast realm. It's such a cool place to be.
Passion projects, man.
Exactly. That's what it is. I'm passionate about it, and it's just one of those things, right? And so, you know how it is. Moving on though, content creation. I mean, we were just talking about it. I have a lot of questions, Mr. OnePeg, about content creation, but also your news-like content that you do incredibly well. Have you always done this content, like the news stuff, like the breaking news, like
I was the first guy in the Tarkov community to start making like regular news videos.
Yeah, you flex on him real quick. What about before Tarkov? I don't know. There was a before Tarkov for you in regards to content, but were you making content like news stuff?
No, I didn't make any content at all until I started. Like my first video ever was a hatchet running guide for customs in Tarkov. It was 45 minutes long. Yeah, it was super fucking long.
Yeah,
and then I made I just started making like other stuff, and then like anybody else, it's like, all right, well I could make highlight reels, or like. Like I don't know what kind of content I want to make. Like I could do this, I could do that. Like, oh, but all these other people are doing that. And I'm like, nobody's making like videos about like what goes on in Tarkov though. I was like, oh, I could start doing that. Maybe I'll just like start making like daily news update stuff.
Yeah, that's
so I started doing that.
Yeah.
And then people just started like gaining traction on it. And then when it started like really taking off was when I started doing like the Tarkov for Dummies stuff, or like like the little Tarkov tips videos. Like those, like because they were like relatively short. They were like 5 minutes long or something, 8 minutes long. And then it was like, all right, well here's like 5 things that you might not have known. And I just showed people like little cheeky spots to like hide, or
100%.
like little mechanic stuff that they otherwise wouldn't have known. Like that stuff was pretty good.
That's so cool. You've inspired a lot of people. I hope you know that. Like you made a big difference. A lot of people are doing news stuff nowadays. I do got to ask. It's not on the questionnaire or anything, but do you have any like favorite creators nowadays that do like some of that news content, like in regards to Tarkov? I have a few, right? For example, Nice Guy does some really good stuff.
Yeah, Nolan's great too. Yeah, I like Nolan.
I don't know. Have you seen Rilo? He does TikToks on he does Tarkov news TikToks.
I actually haven't. So here's my problem is my time that I spend is either like when I'm live or like I'm recording something or I'm editing something. And then when I get done, it's like now I have like a 3-hour block of time where I can like see my kids, so I'm almost never in a position where I can pull up like a YouTube video.
I know what you're saying.
To watch, or a TikTok or whatever, to watch somebody else. And like my TikTok algorithm doesn't even feed me like Tarkov creator content. Like I end up seeing like fucking Bradley Thor like chunking out a fucking block of wood or something, or like the what's his face, the dude that ends up like making caveman tools out of random pieces of slate.
I know that guy. Yeah.
Like that's what I end up getting fed. I get fed that stuff. I don't typically end up seeing like Tarkov related crap at all.
100%.
For some reason, I don't even know why. It's just like it doesn't like. I'll watch them, but I don't typically get shown that stuff, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm laughing at a comment. Somebody said, "Can I make a battle axe?" Yeah, I know that guy. Is that the guy you're talking about?
Yeah. Could you make me a boomerang that'll decapitate a deer? Yeah, like and he just like just.
That's so funny, dude. Oh man, that's so cool. No, I'm the same way, dude. It's funny. I'm a full-time streamer, right? And I watched 40 hours of Twitch last year, and I guarantee I got some questions about it. Like, why do you watch so little? It's just like I feel like I don't got time. I'm busy, but also it's like a trash man, right? A trash truck driver. The last thing he wants to do is come home and take out the trash. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel, right? The last thing I want to do after stream is watch other streams, and no disrespect to other people. I love, the creator friends that I have, but
I will lurk other people's channels.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Like I'll pull up somebody's channel or whatever. Like I'll be a viewer for them, but I'm not here.
Yeah.
I'll just get up and walk away. Like I'll leave the PC on, or like sometimes when I'm editing, I'll like leave somebody's stream up like in the background. I'll like I'll chill in like Stankrat's channel or something. He's a good friend of mine. Like he might have been in the 5 too.
Stank's a good dude.
But I love that guy. The first time I ever met him, dude, we went out to dinner in Vegas at the last TwitchCon. The first time I ever met him like in person. I went to dinner with him and Clean, and Airwing.
Yeah.
And we sat down for dinner. We're chilling the whole time. Stank's like, dude, I'm like really glad I finally got to meet you. He's like, I've been watching you forever. And I'm just like, motherfucker, you got like 10 times the viewers I do. And you're like trying to fluff mine. Like, what are you talking about? You know? Yeah. And I'm like, dude, you're slaying it. I don't even know why you're down here slumming it with me right now. You know? Like, I've known Clean for years, man.
Yeah.
You know, he was like, yeah, like I'm like a really big fan of your stuff. And I'm like, man, I'm a fan of your stuff. Like you're doing work.
That's awesome.
But then, like at the end of the night, he paid for dinner. He's just like, dude, I got this, and I'm like, are you serious? Like, I don't even know you. And he's like, no, dude, I'm gonna buy it. And then
That's
when we were at
so
Loot Fest, I didn't even know he was there until we were at that 80s bar on the very last night. I didn't even know he was there the whole weekend. I never saw him. But I mean, if you ever met Stank, he's not a very big dude. You know, he's lost in a crowd pretty easy. So like, but then somebody mentioned him being at the one end of the bar. I'm like, he's here, and then like fucking ran across the damn room and like gave him a big old hug. And I was like, well, I'm glad that I got to see you for 2 minutes. I'm leaving because I got to go to bed. You know, like, but
we got to go home.
I love him, man.
Yeah, he's such a good dude. He's a really good dude, and he's definitely up there on my 5 stack as well. So I don't blame you whatsoever. No,
I completely forgot the question, dude.
No,
ADHD
it's all
moment.
good. No, it's all good. We were talking about the news content creators and how we don't have a lot of time for you know, watching streams.
I'll leave that's what I was saying. I'll leave my stream up like in the background or whatever. Like I'll just kind of like listen, you know, like super low on like, you know, researching something or whatever. Or like I have some other friends that do content that isn't even closely related to anything that I do, but I just think that they're entertaining, or I know them in real life and they're like really good friends, so I try to like give them a view. That kind of stuff. But for the most part, I'm not an active viewer of just about anybody's channel.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way.
I think the most time that I spend is probably in like Sacriel's stream. He's probably the person that I like idol in the most, just because he's my friend and I want to support him, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I feel bad. I'll be honest. I don't lurk a lot of times nowadays. You know, I'll raid somebody and maybe lurk the rest of their stream, but I turn off my PCs when I go to the gym. The one thing I realize is that when my PCs are on, it makes me want to get on my PC. So what I do to combat that is I turn them off. And I hate that I can't support my friends, but at the same time, I'm taking care of myself. I'll get on the PC when I get home, you know, and stuff like that. But it's just like, I don't support my friends as much as I wish I could, but I'm sure a lot of my friends.
I turned my PC off more often than I do.
Yeah.
I almost never turn mine off, and I should probably start.
Yeah, well, I spend a lot of time outside of off my PC nowadays. I don't really spend a lot of time on it. I spend it for stream. Going to the gym, getting outside, getting sunlight has been huge for me. You know, we're in our era of my 22-year-old life where I'm just trying to live and see what the world has to offer. And I've seen everything on the internet, you know, and you know how it is, right? So it's just one of those things. You guys got to keep moving on. I did want to ask, what's your favorite subject to cover nowadays? Like in regards to like, you know, with their content.
So passion project wise, we're talking, right? Yeah. So I started doing like these semi-periodic videos on like just cool stories that I find like on the internet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Have you seen Tweak? Tweak is
working on doing something different now.
Yeah, he's doing I think I saw it the other
in
day.
San Antonio a couple weeks ago.
Oh, did you?
At the gun range. Yeah.
Oh, that's sick. I miss Tweak.
Because Show works for Unsub. She works for the Unsubscribe podcast.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, so she does like a lot of their like management stuff, like all of their like background things. Yeah. She pretty much handles like their like day to day, like the scheduling and you know all the brand stuff, like all of it. She pretty much like runs like the whole production. And Tweak is like, oh well, what she's making off of that, like I don't even have to work. Like so he's like just taking his time like working on and making something different, which I think is great for him.
I think it is too. I watched one of his first videos. I think it was like a get to know Ireland video or something like that. I think something like
Sick.
I thought it was fucking rad. I watched the whole thing. Shout out Tweak. We love that, man. I'll link his new YouTube channel in the description. He's a good dude too. Speaking about, we have so many good people in the Tarkov community, man.
One of the things about him that I can say that I'm like the happiest about is him and I did not get along for a very long time. Yeah, like I didn't speak to him for years, like earlier on. Because I again, my fucking mouth getting me in trouble.
Yeah.
I thought I was making just a cheeky joke.
Yeah.
And he did not take it that way.
Yeah.
And we had a falling out. He actually DM'd me to tell me that we are not friends and he doesn't want to be my friend and he was going to block me everywhere and he just wanted to let me know that we're not friends. And I was like, shit, I fucked up. And I did nothing but sound apologetic.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I don't know what I did. I don't know how I did whatever I did. I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
I did not mean it to come off that way, but it just went that way. It was what it was. And one of the biggest regrets that I had was like having a falling out with him over something that I said, just like out of like trying to be funny. And then years later, he ended up he did a stream where he was raising money to kind of like help out his mom because she had fallen on hard times. And I ended up sending him like a few $100 or something. I was just like, look, man, like I know that we don't talk a lot or anything, but I hope whatever's going on with your mom works out. And from then it kind of like mended the fence, and him and I have been really, really cool ever since.
Yeah.
So it's just like one of the best things about like all of this stuff and like this whole like multi-year journey that we've all been on is like I've been able to like hopefully navigate it well enough to where you know, I've been able to get to know people better than just like those little like sound bites, the ones that matter, you know?
Yeah. 100%.
And that's been like the best part about it, I think, is like being able to like repair that shit.
Yeah.
It's
good. Very important. Forgiveness is an attribute that a lot of people unfortunately do not have in today's world. Yeah. You know, you'll see a lot of
too many
hatred.
people would turn it into a piece of content and they would just fucking write you off and not give a shit.
Exactly. And I don't know, man. The content creation realm is, a lot of good people, but there's also a lot of fake. And unfortunately, with fakeness comes less forgiveness, and my mom has always taught me, right? If you hate somebody, it's a quote from, what's his name now? Steve Harvey. I don't know if you ever heard it, but holding a grudge is like drinking poison and expecting your enemy to die. And that's what I think of every single time. I don't hold grudges. I've always forgiven people that have, wronged me. And one of the most important things is forgiving yourself. So it's awesome, like, to hear you being able to, make friends with somebody like Tweak even after something like that. It goes to show that like both of you guys are good people. And that's really, really sick. If
it's somebody that I respect, I will like break my back trying to like
100%. Yeah, 100%.
If it's some rando and they were just like an asshole, like
that's what I need to work on, because I'd be making amends with them. That's what I 100% I need to work on. I wanted to move on. Besides good content, you're also a great person to a community of people. You have a great community. What's your favorite part of your community?
There's an abundance of people that have an overwhelming willingness to just like help out their fellow man.
Yeah.
In my community.
That's awesome.
Which I like, and I don't mean like just charities. I mean like somebody that I know falls on hard times, and it's like, all right, well, they need $1,500 to be able to pay their bills so that they don't like lose their apartment.
Yeah.
And if I know them well enough, I know that like it's actually going toward that. It's not just some like random person saying like, I need money for gas, and it's like, okay, yeah, sure you do. If it's actually somebody that I know well enough, I'll just let everybody know. Put up a little dono bar.
That's
when
awesome.
we hit it. We're done. Send it off to them through PayPal or whatever, and like people will just come by and be like, here's $5, and they just help. And like that's the best part about them, I think.
100%.
You ever hear of a dude named Brodo Hub?
Yeah, he's in my stream. He's in my stream.
Yeah, so he's a smaller content creator. Brodo Hub had cancer. I think he's cancer free now. Yeah, so he had cancer. He couldn't work because the treatments and stuff that he was trying to obtain had like debilitated him pretty bad, so he couldn't work. I met him playing Tarkov accidentally. On a PMC run. I needed one more kill for Grenadier. I threw an impact grenade at him and it hit a pillar next to his head and didn't kill him. It just kind of like it blasted off the pillar like in front of him, and he never took any damage. He had asked me in VoIP, like he heard me like walking around. He was like, "You need any help with anything?" And I was like, "Well, actually, now that you mention it," and I turned the corner, fucking lob this grenade. It hits the pillar, blows up in front of his face. He doesn't die, and I'm like, "Well, this is awkward." And then I just ran away. And he's like, no, wait. He's like, seriously, do you need any help with anything? I'm like, bro, I just tried to murder you with a grenade, and now you're asking me if I need any help. He's like, well, yeah. I was like, well, I needed a grenadier kill, and you were supposed to be that guy, and you didn't die, so, you know. And he goes, you know what? Why don't we go find you a grenade, and I'll just, like, stand in the corner. You can just nade me. And I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like, what is this?
So sick.
I'm like, are you going to, like, shoot me in the back? And he's like, no, really. Like, let's go do it. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, I don't know who this guy is, but he's the man. Like, we're running around like he is the man. Like, I'm just beside myself. I'm like, how is there somebody that's like this kind? And then he's at the end, toward the end, like as we're looking for the grenade, he tells me he's a content creator. And then he's live or whatever. And I go, all right, everybody go over there, like, you know, give him, don't owe him subs or whatever. I think I gifted him like 20 subs.
Yeah.
It was like, it's just really, really cool interaction. So he had a dono bar up on his screen. And you know, like a goal, but it didn't have a label on it. So people started asking him, and he said, I have cancer, and this is like, you know, gonna pay for like my next round of treatment or whatever. And there's a clip of me where chat is telling me that he has cancer, because I didn't see it. I just like popped in like donut, you know, whatever. And chat's telling me that he has cancer, and I start fucking crying. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, fine. So then I hop over and I like dono him like $250, and like I think it was like $1,500 or something or something like that. They threw like $5,000 at him in the course of like 15 minutes.
That's so awesome.
He calls his dad. Yeah. Like on stream, like he calls his dad, and his dad answers the phone. He's like, hey, I can afford my treatment now. And he's like fucking bawling. I'm crying. He's crying. Everybody's fucking crying. Yeah, man. So like my community is like, we're like those kinds of people. And we keep making this joke about how like my really, really shitty aim and bad gameplay is like for the good of humanity. Because me missing him ended up turning into like him being able to become like, in his mind, he's like, I got cancer free because your aim sucks. Yeah. You know, like
that's that kind of, like, I love that shit, man.
I love that stuff. Yeah. Like that's the kind of shit that like the whole reason why I wanted to start doing this was to like fix my own mental health, because that's why I started doing this to begin with. And then I realized like through this, like you can help some really, really good people. And that's like why I look up to Lupo that much. Yeah. Because he's helped an awful lot of people through like what he does for a living, just like making people laugh. And I love that shit. I think it's great. He's
a great dude. Brodo is a good dude. He comes in chat every now and then. Yeah. We love Brodo. That's such a good story. That I'm so thankful that you shared that with us. Moving on though, what's some of the craziest things? So I know you are in contact with a lot of companies. You know, you mentioned the Dune project, possibly IMOG. I did want to ask though, what's some of the craziest things a company has reached out to you for? Are there any weird ones? Within privacy, of course. Like don't out a company, but
I got sponsored by Adam and Eve. I did. For those of you that don't know what Adam and Eve is, they sell adult products.
Yeah, no, I had a very similar one. I got hit up for like a Blue Chew like esque pill, and I'm like, dog, you think I have sex? Like, I am not a good advocate for this. You know, like I play video games and I'm single as shit. You mean to tell me that I'm a good advocate for your product?
So I actually did the Adam and Eve sponsorship.
That's funny.
I actually did it for a while. Yeah, there was it was like code OnePeg and all that, dude. We leaned into it real fucking heavy.
No, that's good.
But they were like, yeah, like go like pick out like a few things from the website that you want sent to you. All right, and they're like, you know, they'll send you whatever. It's like discrete packaging. You know, you had to go through like the whole thing, and then you could get 10% off or up to 50. It was 50% off like your first order or something.
Holy shit!
They're like, okay, whatever. So they send me this stuff, and they tried to say like you can't use the dildo, but you could show the dildo, and it's like, no, you can't show it. You can't. Like, you'll definitely get fucking banned for that. But yeah, they had like, so like it didn't get any toys or anything. It was like you could like order like lingerie and shit.
Yeah, 100%.
So like there were things that you could order that I could like show people, you know. So it was like, all right, I'll try and go with like the safe play shit. And that was really, really funny. Yeah. Like we leaned into that like super hard with the memes about it. But yeah, that was
so cool.
That was a fun time. I think
sick.
that might be the craziest one. Yeah. I don't think there was anything that's been like really weird.
I don't think there has been a lot of crazy ones for me. Now you'll get a lot more offers than somebody like myself, but like I had to ask because I know some companies, I think it's hilarious. Companies sending you emails as a content creator. Hey, Gino, with 2 O's, by the way. Hey, Gino, we love your Hunt Showdown content. It's like, dog, I have never streamed Hunt Showdown my entire life. Like, yeah, we love your Rainbow Six Siege content. I'm like, I don't even play Siege. Like, I don't know if you have gotten some of the emails where you'll read and like, what the
it's
fuck
not even
are
it's they don't like not it's not even that they screw up my name. A lot of times they call me like a completely different one. It's like it's like, hey Jimmy, and it's just like, my name isn't Jimmy. Like, what? And then like I'll actually respond to them and be like, hey, thanks for the offer, but my name is not Gamerboy6969 or some shit. Like, and then they're like, sometimes they'll respond and be like, I am so sorry, but if you still want to do the promo, and it's like, I'm good.
Yeah. No, 100%. I had a weird one a few weeks ago. They were complimenting me the entire time. Now, I'm usually, I'm used to nowadays with the graphic design bots, right? They'll hit you up and they'll be like, your graphic design looks mediocre. I could fix that. It's like, okay, that's not a way to do business, but cook, I guess, But no, I have one. This dude hit me up and he started it with handsome lover boy. And I'm like, what the fuck did you just call me, dude?
Fuck yeah, dude. Oh yeah, I've gotten those. Like, from I think it's probably the same dude.
It probably is. Yeah.
They do some weird like almost parasocial, like over the top, like kind of like
it scared
sexy
me.
compliment shit.
It's like, what's up, sexy weird. Man? It's like, dude, you don't know me, dude. Don't.
Yeah, no, they're weird. Yeah.
No, I had to ask. So I had to ask. So I'm glad that you brought up the whole Adam and Eve. That's hilarious. That is.
Yeah, it was funny.
Oh man, you're a huge advocate for mental health, but also dealing with trolls. I talked about that earlier through your content. Why do you think the haters hate like they do to you? Do you have a theory?
Because I think it's because I respond. Honestly, I think that's why.
I
think it's because I respond.
Yeah,
I think it's because people will say some dumb shit, and then I'll be like, "Why is this moron like this?" And some dude ended up saying something like super fucking snarky, and then I just quote tweeted his bullshit and posted a picture of like his background image was like a Honda Civic STI or some shit. And I just posted the picture of the Civic and just left it.
I think I remember.
And it was like, your whole identity is your fucking rice rocket. Like, why are you speaking? You know what I mean? Like, you're not even a person. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Well. And it's like, but I think that's why they act the way they. But that and I'm opinionated, right?
Yeah.
But here's the funny thing, right? They will act like that on Twitter, only on or on socials, but they only ever act like that in socials. I have never once been at a convention ever where someone has walked up to me and like went, "Hey, I think you're a dick." Like, no one does that. They shake my hand. "Hey man, nice to meet you, big fan." Like last week he was probably talking shit to me, but he'll tell me that he loves my YouTube videos. No one will be negative to you, to your face. Yeah. And I realize that I'm older, but I come from a place where it was like, if I had a problem with somebody, I would just walk up to them and be like, "Hey man, you're a douchebag." And like, I think you're a douchebag. I don't respect you. I don't like you at all. I think you're a douchebag, and I need you to stay the fuck away from me. Like, I would just tell someone that to their face. No one does that now. Everybody hides behind anonymity, and they end up just talking shit. And then they're like, "What do you mean? Like, why are you getting mad?" Like, I'm not. I'm just playing with my food. Yeah.
100%.
But I shouldn't do that, because it makes me, unfortunately, because of how socials are, it makes me look petty. And then people think like, and actually I talked to General Sam about this. He was like, "You're the guy that like bullies know it like bugs you just enough to like get a response." So that's why so like you get bullied, or they try to bully you because they know that like you'll end up saying something, and then you're giving them what they want. He's like, "I was a former bully, so as a former bully," he's like, "Oh, I know I can get to that guy." Yeah. Like, and that's why they do it. And I'm like, and I started cracking up laughing because I was riding with him in the car, and I'm like, "You're absolutely right." Like it's not that I don't get offended or I don't get mad or whatever, but it's just enough to where it's like, oh, I can fuck with him.
Yeah, they keep fucking with you too.
I can say some shit to him, Yeah. And then of course, like every once in a while I wonder why, like, dude, why are people like coming out of the woodwork just to be douchebags? But I think that's why. I think it's because I respond. I should just leave it.
I think me and you relate a lot there, because I question myself a lot. Like, why the fuck do I get so much hate? Like on TikTok, I don't know if you're on TikTok a lot, but I receive so much genuine hate. And it's like, I just try and be a good dude. You know, it's not me. Like, I hardly ever slip up. Like, you know, you said about the Honda Civic. I had a guy come in and his profile picture was him taking a mirror selfie. And I was fed up that day. He came in and I fucking said, go take another fucking mirror selfie because you look stupid as hell right now. And he didn't reply. He didn't fucking reply. But, like,
That's beautiful.
I got mad and I hardly ever slip up. But I wonder sometimes, because, like, for the most part, I feel as though, like, a genuine dude. Like, I'm not trying to hurt somebody's feelings. I'm trying to make people's days better and make them feel less alone. You know, I tell people that, right? Like, on my whole spiel when, you know, somebody raised me, right? Like, my name's Genooo, 22. I just try and make people's days better. You know, it makes me question myself. Like, do I need to be a douchebag? Like, is that what these people want?
It's so funny that you say that, too, because it's like, the people that tend to get the most attention are the people that are like the biggest fucking douchebags around. Yeah. Right? Like the guys that are like the biggest in the 20 to 25 like fucking age bracket. Yeah. The guys that are getting like overwhelmingly the most attention and the ones that are ending up the most successful are just acting like absolute fucking cocks to people. And they say like the most out of pocket shit. It amazes me. Like dudes that'll walk up and they got a 13-year-old that are like, we hate women. And he's like, what are you talking about? Like, meanwhile, he does like all this fucking red pilled content. He's like, no, we love women. What do you mean? And he's like, well, that's not what you were saying like fucking
exactly
3 weeks ago.
Saying.
Like, that's the impression that you leave. And like, but that's what people gravitate toward. And it drives me absolutely insane because like, conversely, guys like you or guys like Glorious should be the people that are like the most widespread and the people that are like the most celebrated. And they're the ones that should be making the fucking millions, because they're putting out the right kind of message versus like, you know, the shit that goes viral is just like how every other fucking newsreel runs is like overwhelming amounts of negativity is the thing that gets all the attention. And the fucking red pilled Andrew Tate douchebags are the ones that end up getting all the media play. Yeah. And it's unfortunate. And because that's the stuff that ends up being like given all the attention. Yeah.
And I've had this conversation with so many different creators, so many different streamers, right? Like, you have to understand, and I've said this literally every podcast, like, you attract what you reflect. And unfortunately, in today's world, it's hard to attract. It's for one, I reflect positivity. I try and reflect good vibes, you know, all that stuff. It's hard to attract those form of people because of the fact that they're not all, like, majority of the world nowadays is negative. People have like, majority of the world is negative. There's not a lot of kindness. There's not a lot of positivity. And I always tell people it's incredibly hard to grow as a positive Twitch streamer because I'm not doing things for clicks or views. You're right. Like I might have a YouTube video that's like, you know, craziest kill I've ever had in Tarkov, but I'm not like belittling other people. And that's why I'm not growing. You know, is because I'm not going at somebody else or I'm not making content that is negative, right? And I tell people all that all the time. Like, it's hard for somebody like myself, right? I want to pay my bills, but in order to pay my bills, I have to be negative or I have to be somebody I'm not, you know? And I just, it's a very weird, unfortunate way it's organized nowadays, unfortunately, like I said, but it's just how it is, man. It's just how it is. In the content creation field, Mr. OnePeg, I consider you a jack of all trades. You know, you do your news content, your guides, your, you know, all of that stuff. Breaking news person is what I said in the script. You're also a great streamer. What's your favorite among them all? Like everything that you do right now. What's the favorite thing that you do? Editing, there's like two things. I really like making like the parody songs. Okay. Because I get to sing and like I used to be a touring singer and I don't really get to do much of that anymore, which is it's fun. And then the other, like I said, is like making like the story content. So there was like for instance, there was a guy in the US around like 2012, 2013, had his daughter abducted by the Sinaloa cartel and taken into Mexico. He lived in like Southern California. Had his daughter abducted and taken into Mexico when she was like 15 and like placed in the sex trade. She was 12. Jesus. She was 12 years old. Stole her and took her into the sex trade. And he spent
or she was 15. I can't remember exactly what it was, but he spent 3 years devising a plan to go into Mexico himself to retrieve his daughter himself. And it was like some crypto guru back in like 2012, and built a Bitcoin mining rig to mine Bitcoin to then cash in when the market spiked, cashed in a bunch of money, went to this fucking remote town like 6 hours into like past the Mexican border or whatever, and like basically bought this town with all the money that he had. He just funneled money into the town until they were all like partying crazy and getting hammered and, you know, had more money than what they knew what to do with. And then got his daughter out of the house that she was being like passed around in, and like somehow managed to get her back up across the US border, to against the wishes of both the US and Mexican governments, because they were saying like, you're gonna get yourself killed and all this other shit. So like I've been doing videos about like just these weird and interesting stories that I come across over time.
Cool. Yeah.
That's like my favorite kind of content to do right now, is like just sharing those stories. They get fuck all for views. They don't get shit. Like that video was like one of the coolest things I've ever researched, and I think it got like 5,000 views. You know, it got nothing. Comparatively, it got nothing. But I love making them. They're like a lot of fun. I just came across one yesterday actually that I'm going to make a video about. This dude ended up getting a hotel room at the New Yorker Hotel in New York City, right? Famous building. Because of a loophole in the housing law in New York City, because that building was built before 1969. There's an old housing authority law that says if you are given or are able to pay for a hotel room in a building that was built before 1969, you have the right to request a lease agreement, a 6-month lease from the owner of the building. If you stay there for a single night, if you paid for the room, you can request a 6-month lease. He did that and they evicted him. He took them to court, and the hotel lost because they didn't have someone that showed up to court to defend the hotel. And the judge sided in his favor and forced the hotel to give him a key to the room. And then he spent the next 5 years negotiating a lease agreement with the hotel that they never came to an agreement on. So he lived there rent free for 5 years.
Oh my God.
And it got crazy. Like this dude went fucking off the deep end and started claiming that he owned the hotel and started trying to demand rent from people, like commercial renters from the hotel. He started trying to demand rent from them. He gets arrested for attempted fraud. He's facing like multiple years in prison or whatever, for like attempted fraud over trying to demand rent from people. But in the process, he tried to say that he owned the hotel. He went out of his way to like forge documents. He tried to register the hotel with the EPA as the owner of the hotel to try and gain access to the bank accounts of the hotel.
That guy's serious.
So they had like legal documentation. And then when he got arrested, he had his one phone call. They gave him his one phone call. He called the White House and told them where he was. And no one at the White House has a fucking clue who this guy is. Like, he's just fucking crazy. Like, it's like the weirdest fucking story, but like that's the kind of stuff that I like making videos about, because it's like so outlandish. Or like this thing in Boston. Did you ever hear about like the molasses flood that happened in Boston like way back when?
I've heard of it. I don't know specifics.
So like this old iron tank that was filled with like thousands of gallons of molasses, hot molasses, like ruptured because of a cold snap in Boston, and like a literal like 25-foot tidal wave of molasses went through like this neighborhood in Boston and killed a bunch of people because it was like boiling hot fucking molasses.
Oh my God.
And like ruined like blocks of real estate. Like that kind of shit. I love making like videos about those like stories, man. I think that
really
they're super interesting,
dude. No, it's cool to see how passionate you are, right? Like it's like you're getting into these stories.
It's just silly.
But it's sick, dude. It's sick to see that passion, right? You don't see it a lot in the Tarkov world.
When it started was a couple of years ago, I think. There were these guys that were taking part in fishing tournaments in on Lake Erie, and they were entering fishing tournaments for walleye fish, the walleye fish. And it was all, fishing tournaments are like the single biggest fish, or like you fish for 3 hours and however much weight worth of fish you get is, you know, they weigh it and like biggest weight wins. So there was this duo that was doing these tournaments and they were winning like a lot, like way more than normal. And they had earned like $750,000 worth of like boats and cash prizes and stuff over like a 2 or 3 year period. And there was this viral clip of somebody with a phone out where one of the judges was like, I'm going to inspect those. Yeah. Because like he thought something was weird.
I know what happens.
He pulls out like these giant lead weights.
Yep. They were
like,
waiting to fish.
Weights. Like he's like screaming it. And he's like, and then you see this like big dude like, get the fuck out of here. Like he's just screaming at him. And it's like,
call the police. I remember that, dude.
Yeah, the one thing that you don't want to do is like piss off a bunch of 50-year-old rednecks that have like millions of dollars worth of equipment. Dude. You know what I mean? That are going here to like freeze their balls off in like February trying to get walleye out of a lake. You know? Yeah. So I made this video, and like what I realized was I was saying the word walleye like a fucking lot. Yeah. So I went to Saint, the guy that edits for me, and I was like, all right, listen, I think I said the word walleye in this like fucking 25 times. So every time that I say the word walleye, I just need you to flash like a 3-frame fucking image of a stupid like walleye fish. Like, and just find like a bunch of different images. Yeah. And it was just silly like the whole time. That's so those guys are going to prison. They're going to prison now. But yeah, I made like the day after, like the morning after I saw that like flash across my phone, like on TikTok or whatever, I was like, what the fuck is this about? And then I just made a video about it like the next day. And that one actually got views because like it was just like weird. Yeah. It was just a weird, interesting story. But I love making that content. I think it's just silly. That's awesome. So it's still in like the news vein, but it's like it's just like wacky story kind of stuff, like interesting shit. I think it's cool.
100%. You're passionate, and that's really cool. I wanted to ask if you could give any streamer tips to someone wanting to become a content creator. What are some you'd give?
I have been asked this question many times, and the answer is always the same. Okay. And there's a story. Well, just like everything else, my ADHD brain, right? There's a story behind everything. Okay. So when I first got started in content creation, Sequisha, who I now call a friend, has a fantastic presence. He's one of the best content creators on this entire platform. He's just amazing at what he does, and blows my mind. Like he's still taking me to school on stuff. He was one of the first content creators I ever watched, one of the first ones I ever subbed. I have like I think a 6-year running sub in his channel or something. I tipped him $5 when I was first going. I mean, like maybe my first 2 weeks in or something. I was like, hey, I'm around your age. And I actually said, I'm around your age like a fucking asshole. I'm around your age. And he had, you know, like TTS, right? Yeah. I'm like, hey, I'm around your age. I just got kind of going in content creation. Do you have any advice? And he said, I will tell you what Jam Jar told me. And if you don't know who the Jam Jar is, he is an OG content creator, one of the absolute best of us too. And he started before Sequisha did, and Sequisha been around a long time. Yeah. So the advice was, in this gig, if you want to be successful in this gig, you either need to be early or you need to be good, and you are late as fuck.
Damn. It's hard hitting.
That's it. So whatever it is that you do, you have to do it really well, or you're not going to get anywhere. The problem is that most people, when it comes to the content that they generate, are not introspective enough to see the things that need improving. Yeah. And the thing with the guys that have made it, most of them don't ever get lazy. They will constantly reevaluate what it is that they're doing and look for ways to be able to improve upon their content or better monetize their content or whatever. Like, for example, the giant pile of bright orange ping pong balls in a basket behind me that for $1 somebody gets to shoot me in the side of my head. Right? Like that has been done like 1,000 times in the last like 4 days. Right? So like, or like you go to Velian stream and they're just constantly pelting him, you know? That was $600 to set up between the cost of the robot and the software and all the like the extra balls and everything. Like, it's an investment, right? Yeah. But like, you know, hopefully you see the ROI, but it's like, it's one more thing where people come in and they're like, that is effing hilarious. Yeah. You know, because I'm sitting there and I'm getting blasted at 70 miles an hour from that thing serving them up. And I'm like, ow, you know, like, and they just laughing at my stupid ass getting pelted. Yeah. You know, like that kind of stuff is funny. But most people don't reevaluate themselves or look at like what they're doing versus what other people do in like the cadence of their delivery or the time that they spend editing things. Is it over edited? You know, they don't look at their delivery. You know, like if you watch somebody like Sequisha, his timing is like a stand-up comic. He understands like the delivery of the jokes that he's making and how to time it in a way where it's like you just have like that cadence where like it hits at the right moment and you're just like, damn. Just like if you watch a stand-up comic on stage where they'll have like those little pauses where they like let something set in and then they say like the one-liner and you're just like, fuck, that was hilarious. And, you know, you're cracking up, like holding your stomach. You know, those are the things that like your average content creator, somebody that's, you know, at 10, 15 viewers, that's trying to get bigger and better. They don't tend to reevaluate what it is that they do to improve upon what it is that they're doing. The other thing that they don't do is make content because they're too worried that their shit isn't good enough to put out into the world. So what I always tell people is just fucking suck. That's fine. Yeah. Suck really bad at it. Put your stuff out there. Just keep making it. Post the shit. And then look at it and cringe and go, all right, well, I shouldn't do that anymore. Right? Because otherwise you either don't make it or you keep making stuff that's shitty. You have to, you can't do that, but you have to get to the point where you're going to make stuff that's better, but you're not going to do that if you don't evaluate your stuff after you've made it and look back on it, you know? Like a musician playing music. Like look at the early shit that like John Mayer wrote, right? Like Your Body is a Wonderland. Like how fucking simple of a song is that? Versus now, like when he plays guitar, you're like, shit, he actually can fucking okay. You know what I mean?
You gotta start somewhere.
He's a far cry from playing some shitty Yamaha on a beach somewhere trying to get laid. You know what I'm saying? Like, like it's a lot different. Like he's become much better, much more technical of an artist and a musician. You know, like you have to work on like perfecting the craft. But the only way that happens is if you actually like do the shit. So that's what I would say.
That's really good advice. You put that shit on a shirt type of advice, you know, like you literally take that quote, put it on a shirt,
just like thousands of words.
No. The quote from Jam Jar, which by the way, I don't think I've ever heard of Jam Jar. I feel bad that I don't. He's been
you
either be early to make it in this game. You have to be early.
Think about it. Like the people that were earliest on TikTok, right? The guys that have been around on TikTok, the guys that have been around on Twitch the longest, the ones that have like gobs and gobs and gobs of followers, those dudes that are typically the ones that are averaging like 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 viewers, they've been around for a decade, 10, 12 years, right? Since the very beginning, like Justin TV days, right? Most of them. And for the most part, like those guys, if they wanted to, they could phone it in, right? They're going to have 1,000 viewers no matter what because they've been around for that long. The people that start now, there's so much saturation that you have to get people's attention. Guys like Jinxie, right? He streamed to fucking 3 viewers for a year. He's always been Jinxie, right? It's just he didn't get the audience, and then one day he gets traction, and now he's one of the most subscribed people on the entire platform. He's making millions of dollars a month. Right. So it just depends, right? Like luck is a factor, but you have to put the time in too. You know, so you got to be good. You have to be good.
100%. That's incredible advice. Shout out Jam Jar. Shout out Sequisha. Some legends in the field. Moving on, though, I want to go to one of everybody's favorite subject that we have with this podcast. It's called the throwback section, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take away my camera again, and I'm going to stream. I'm going to stream this, and we're going to full screen this so that chat can also see it. Let me see here. Let me do that. That's the script. We are going to go, first off, okay, we are going to first go to your first ever tweet, by the way. I found it.
My first tweet?
Yeah, your first ever tweet.
Oh my God, what was my first tweet?
It wasn't bad. Beta EFT, love streaming your game, fellas. Building that channel every day. It was your first ever tweet, February 26, 2018.
Jesus
I was
Christ,
able
that looks cringy as fuck.
No, dude. No, you were. Hey.
I still love Tarkov. I still love Tarkov.
I'll be honest. I think you tagged the wrong account. I think that was the old one, bro.
That was the old one, yeah.
Yeah. It's
they don't even use that account anymore.
Yeah. That's funny. Well, I saw this. I was like, dude, that's a perfect first tweet. You didn't get one like. You didn't get one comment. You didn't get one retweet. Just love streaming your game, fellas.
How Twitter worked.
Yep.
And they didn't understand how Twitter worked because when you do that, it doesn't actually hit the algorithm because it acts. Twitter treats it like you're writing a DM to somebody. That's why you have to put a period first, or you have to say, hey, or something like that. So it's not the very first thing. The tag being the first thing like pulls it right out of the algorithm, and it's like you're having a one-to-one conversation.
That's so funny, man. So I had to go back and find your content creation tweet, that is. I don't know if you have a private or anything, but I found your first ever tweet, 2018. I was 17 years old, by the way, when I made this. I'm 22 now, almost 23 this year.
February 1st, 2018 was when I started streaming.
That's crazy. That is so cool. Yeah, I went back and found that. We also have another
used Twitter before.
Oh. Yeah, well, I mean, I can tell from the...
Yeah.
I can tell from the @beta EFT in the first word. We also have another one. I found an old video of yours. I don't know. Well, he said to not. There it is. There we go. You looked quite, spiffy, man. You a businessman. What is this all about?
That was when I was still working as a financial planner, man.
December 30th, 2019. You looked great, dude.
Yeah, 3 months before I quit.
Hey, you want to get them Twitch drops? We're going to be live in like 10 minutes.
You suited like fucking asshole. Yeah, I suited up for the fucking Twitch drop stream. I remember that. Yeah.
I think the funniest thing about this tweet is I'd hit it like a heavy bag. I thought that was hilarious, dude.
Skulls is one of the best fucking FPS players that has ever walked this earth. He does not get enough attention. He used to average like 950 when he played Tarkov, and he burned out and just started playing other shit. Yeah. He is fucking good at games.
Really?
He is scary good. He would hold a candle to anybody else.
Really?
Like tournament wise, he's never done tournaments and stuff. He is insane.
That's
at shooters. The guy is nuts. Yeah, Skulls is a homie.
I thought it was hilarious how you look, man. Look how you. No offense, but you look a very, very young here compared to like how you look now. You look like the dad age and shit. You know, you were a dad here, but you're more seasoned, dude. I thought it was hilarious. I found that. And then to end the throwback section,
that shit too. Jesus Christ.
To end the throwback section, we do have a question after the clips, but. I did find a clip from a while ago on your Twitch. I think you know this one very well. I don't know if you remember this.
This is when Lupo murdered me.
Yep.
I can tell just by looking at it.
You mother...
Right in front. Wow.
Background and shit.
Wow.
Huh?
The old background.
Yep.
Fuzzy.
So I thought this was another dude.
Fuzzy, you son of a bitch.
It's a popular clip too.
I'm so proud of that guy.
Is this actually Lupo?
That's not actually Lupo, is it? That can't.
And it was. It was.
Man, Lupo had your number, man.
So when I started that raid, at the beginning of that raid, Fuzzy Bear, who's one of my mods now, he wasn't
good
then.
dude from Pittsburgh.
Good dude. He's a joker. So he was like, I'm gonna be in your raid, like hide in the closet, I'm gonna shoot you in the legs or something. Like he was fucking with me. And I'm like, you better fucking not. So then I go into this raid, and lo and behold, and what isn't shown here is that I was still a Sherpa.
Yeah.
In Tarkov, I was still a Sherpa then, and I was doing a community day, and I was helping somebody learn reserve. So there's a dude behind me as I'm like unlocking this door. I'm like, yo, we can go get the marked room or whatever.
Yeah.
And I take him here, and I'm like opening the door. And then I hear the you motherfucker, and I'm like, and I heard the door open. I'm like, oh God, no. So I thought it was Fuzzy fucking with me, and I was like, I'm gonna ban this motherfucker. Like, dude, he knows like better. And then it turned out to be Lupo. So I go to his stream, and somebody did this in a compilation video actually, because I went to his stream, and he had murdered me, and I'm like. And I write, I'm trying to Sherpa somebody, and you did me like that. God damn it, Lupo. And he apparently was having a shitty day.
Yeah.
And he read that, and he started fucking cackling. And he was like, I was having a crap day, but this just fucking fixed it. He was dying. It was so goddamn funny. Looking back on that was a great moment.
That's
actually.
So good. And I saw that clip somewhere else. I think I saw that when it first came out. Well, this was 3 years ago. That's crazy. That the time really flies when you're having fun and not playing Tarkov.
Like, Lupo, why?
That was such a good clip. That's the end of the clips and stuff. So I'll bring my camera back up. I'll stop streaming. We usually have 4 clips, but for this session, I decided to do 3. But I didn't want to ask a throwback question. If you're like me, you wish you got in the gaming and streaming sooner. What's a gamer community you wish you joined sooner? You can say the ones that you're in now, you know, Tarkov, you know, I wish it was in Tarkov community
I definitely
sooner.
wish I had started streaming sooner.
Yeah.
It's funny, like I'm an old man in a young man's game.
Yeah.
You know, if you comparatively, right? There
That's
aren't
a good
whole-
way to put it.
Towley is the same age as me,
Yeah.
right? But Towley was around like 4 years longer than I've been.
Yeah.
You know, he's been around a long time. I definitely wish I had started doing like regular streams a lot earlier. Or I wish that I was like, because I was like born in the wrong decade. If I was 10 years younger, like I'd be competitive, I think now. And I wish streaming had existed when I was like 25.
Yeah.
Because that would be ridiculous. If I was like single and like 25, I'd be living in a fucking 1-bedroom apartment and I would just fucking go like 16 hours a day every day. I wouldn't give a fuck. Like I would just be grinding like a motherfucker. Like,
I'm taking notes.
No one would ever see me outside.
Yeah.
They wouldn't, because it would be easy.
Yeah.
You know, like having to deal with like, you know, like family stuff and kids and, you know, trying to keep people around you happy and all that. Like I could just shut myself away for like the better part of like 5 years and walk out a fucking millionaire. Like it would be easy. I would live in it. But the way that things have gone, I don't think I would change. And then I'm happy.
A lot
I'm happy with how it is.
A lot of people have said that though. OnePeg. It's I always tell people, you know, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. I feel like a lot of people are the same way, right? Like they wouldn't change something, right? Like that's a very good answer. It's how a lot of people think.
A game that I wish I had started playing sooner. I mean, I started in Tarkov in 2018. Technically I could have started playing it like a year earlier.
Yeah, you could have.
Even. Yeah. With like the patches and stuff. I didn't even know Tarkov existed until then. I don't have an alpha armband or something or anything like that because I missed the cutoff by like a month.
I played Tarkov before you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about, considering how old you are and how young I am.
Yeah, I hadn't even heard of it. That was the weird. But at the time that happened, I was playing a lot of I was still like very competitively like playing WoW. Even though like I was less competitive then because I think that was around like the time of like Legion or something.
Yeah.
But I was playing WoW like pretty heavy even then as a demon hunter. That's like where my name comes from. I used to play a shaman and they have like 4 totems, so my name was 4 pegs. And then when Legion came out, I switched to a demon hunter, and I was like guild lead. So so I was like, oh, he'll be a unit. So I named him OnePeg so that people kind of kept up with the naming thing, and that's like where the name came from, and it just stuck.
That's sick. Yeah.
Yeah. So so it just kind of like went that way, and then Tarkov happened. But game that I would have played before. I don't know, man. Like if it had been years prior, I probably would have ended up being like a WoW streamer or something. You know, like streaming like progression runs and shit when I was raiding with like Death and Taxes and those guys. Other than that, I don't think I would have done much of anything else because I really wasn't playing like much. That or like Ark, because I played a couple thousand hours of Ark or like Conan or something like that. Even though I've streamed those games a little bit, but it wasn't a lot. And most of the people that would watch those streams were like stream snipers trying to find out where your base was so they could fuck with you while you're offline.
Yeah, we hate those people.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
it probably would have been that.
Okay. Well, both are good answers. Ark and WoW, and then Tarkov a little bit sooner. Those are some really good answers, I think. But a lot of people have the same exact thing that you said, that I wouldn't necessarily change anything. So that's a good thing that you think that way, because a lot of other people Minecraft. I mean,
yeah, Minecraft.
We all have them stages of Minecraft. You know, that one week a year that we're like, dude, we're gonna play Minecraft with the boys. You know, we all have those stages. You know how it is.
Dude, the Minecraft months with Ames and Lupo and Batty and all those guys was.
I never played.
So
I got
fun.
invited, but I never played. I want to. Next time we do that, I want to.
Best feeling in the world was averaging like 150 viewers playing fucking Minecraft for 8 hours a day. Like that was awesome.
That's sick, man.
That saved my mental, man. I fucking hated Tarkov then.
I don't blame you, man. I still hate Tarkov, so I'm glad you brought that one up too. I've seen you be very vocal in communities and discussing important issues. You know, you the news breaking and stuff like that. Are you the same way with life situation? Like life situations, like very vocal, like a very vocal person. If something comes up,
like I speak my mind.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like
I think
that.
you're supposed to.
Yeah, I agree. But some people hold
the
back.
one thing that I don't, I actually don't like passive aggressiveness at all.
I don't blame you.
And I'm a big believer in respect, like mutual respect.
Yeah.
So I'll look you in your eye and I will tell you that there's something that I don't like. Not that I'm trying to be judgmental, but I'll say like, I don't like this and this is why. with the expectation that respectfully we could have a conversation about it, and maybe like the problem could get fixed. I don't think like I'm a big like, and this is maybe it's like my sales background or something, but I'm a big believer in like making the covert stuff like overt, like bring it out into the light and then fucking deal with it. Because if you don't, then it just fucking sits there and festers and nothing gets accomplished. So like you might be pissed at me at first, but at least like something gets done about it, one way or the other.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in that. I always have been.
Yeah, that's really good advice. Like if you just let it fester, it just gets worse, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like I get a lot of comments asking for advice with like tough times, and I tell people like you gotta feel the thing that you're feeling right now, whether it be a sad emotion, an angry emotion. You gotta feel that shit and let it come to the surface to allow it to move on. Right? In order for you to move on from a certain emotion, whether you're sad about, you know, somebody broke up with you or, you know, this happened, that happened, somebody made you angry, in order to move on, you got to feel those emotions, you know? So I'm very glad that you're very vocal about that stuff because it's very important. I wanted to talk about burnout though. A lot of us streamers suffer from burnout, but also imposter syndrome. Do you know what imposter syndrome is, right?
Yeah, of
Some
course.
people don't.
Yeah.
Basically the feeling of not deserving as much as you have. Do you feel the same?
No.
No?
I not, and I'm not like, this is going to sound conceited. I think that I've earned the stuff that I've gotten.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way. I think that I've been lucky. But I damn well have put the hours in.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it, man.
And I think I look at what I've been like. I am grateful for everything that my community contributes to. Like they literally keep me employed, you know, and I'll be forever grateful for that. But they wouldn't be my community if they hadn't gotten to know me a little bit. So I know that I've put in the work. I guess I can put it that way.
Good for you. Yeah.
I don't look at this gig as something that's incredibly difficult. I think that certain aspects of it take some amount of skill. But you know, at the end of the day, it's not a like a physically demanding, like hard job. Like I'm not out there like trying to like lay bricks or something for a living. But I think that it requires some amount of talent and some amount of, and an awful lot more than anything. I think it requires perseverance. And I definitely have done those things. I would like to be further ahead in terms of like my popularity and, you know, like that kind of stuff. I would love, like anybody else, like I would love to be further ahead than what I am. Yeah. But one of the things that I've come to realize, especially very lately, is Gray Zone is going to be April 18th, right? It's going into like that 1 week play test or whatever. So what I've done is, because most everybody that I know from Tarkov or whatever has gotten access to that. Like there's a lot of people that are going to be streaming it. In my case, it's like, all right, well, we all got given like extra keys to like give friends or whatever. In my case, like everybody's already got one. Yeah. So I was just like, oh, well, I'll just give it to like some smaller dudes that want to like stream it. And so I put out a tweet thinking I'm going to get like a little bit of response. Yeah. There's a fuck ton of people that average like less than 10 viewers. Yeah. Like a shit ton of them. Yeah. And it's like, that is humbling as hell. Yeah, and you can change your life with something like that, right? Yeah. And I know a lot of them will put in more work than some of the big streamers, right? They'll put in the time. They'll make YouTube videos about it. There's a lot of great people out there. A lot of underrated streamers, you know? It just makes me remember like when I was in those early days, like the fucking cringy tweet where I had my suit on. That at that point, okay, like in 2019, I hadn't gone on my honeymoon yet. And I went on my honeymoon like the week after that. And when that happened, I was in the middle of streaming. I streamed 257 days straight and I had like a 12 viewer average. And I streamed on my honeymoon. Like you know, like she'd be down at the pool or something and I would stream for 45 minutes from my fucking cell phone, just keep the streak going. I'm not even joking. That's how badly I wanted to fucking that's how badly I wanted to succeed. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like and like certain aspects of your personal life suffer from that, but you know, I'm just a driven ass motherfucker. I don't know. And I look at it like I'd like to be bigger than what I am, right? I'd like to be more famous, whatever, than what I am. I'd like to average more than what I do, because 100%. I'd like to be the person that makes like 30 to 50K a month, right? Not you know, 90 to 110K a year or whatever it is that I earn now. Yeah, I'd love to be that person. It's just a matter of like time. And I think that where I'm at now, when we talk about imposter syndrome, I think that where I'm at now is almost good enough to be able to do that. It's just a matter of the amount of time that I'm willing to dedicate to it. Yeah. knowing full well that other aspects of my personal life will suffer from that. So I don't have imposter syndrome about where I am at this point in time with my level of success.
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel impatient, thinking that I should be further along than I am at this point in my life, and I'm not, and it frustrates me.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the opposite end of that spectrum, I guess.
Yeah, no, 100%. I feel like there's people that deal with both, you know, like you said that you deal with this where you feel as though you want more, you know, but there are people out there that have more and they feel like they don't deserve it, you know. It's like there's two different type of creators, you know, and we all go through it, you know, and I'm sure there will be a time where somebody, you know, goes through what you're dealing with when they dealt with imposter syndrome years before it, you know. It's just how the content creation realm seems to go, you know. I look at you as a somewhat private person. I know you talked about your wife and the honeymoon and stuff. Let's talk about family, though. How do you balance streaming and family? You kind of just touched on it a little bit. Do you do it well?
No. Fuck no. I do. I'm awful at it.
Yeah.
I'm horrible at it. It's one of the larger regrets that I have with my life right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't blame you,
really,
bro.
Really bad at it.
There's a lot
I have
of
no work-life balance. It's impossible.
Yeah.
It sucks. Actually,
There
are days that I envy people that have like the 9-to-5 job with like the benefits package, because at least I know that they could dedicate like 4 or 5 hours to their family every night. I don't get to do that.
That's crazy to think about, and I kind of feel the same way sometimes. Like I regret not being able to go to the birthday parties or go to the specific parties. Now, in your sense, right? Like it's on a bigger scale. You got an entire family. You know, you're a father, you're a husband, right? Like that's a very real thing. And, you know, there's a lot of creators out there that go through this same exact thing. Is like, if I know anything about you, OnePeg, I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, are you a perfectionist? Like, do you need, you aren't?
No.
Okay, well, I thought you're a perfectionist that where, like, you will work your ass off until something is literally the best that you can make it. Right, that's what I mean by perfectionist, right?
I'll drive like I'm not detail oriented, but I am absolutely driven.
Yeah, 100%. That's really good to be, but like you said, it kind of gets in the way of your work-life balance, right? And it's something that we all deal with, you know. And I
constantly feel the pull of this.
Yeah,
every day. Like if I'm not in here like working away on stuff, I'm like chomping at the bit. Like I have days where it will be like I want to take a day off, and then I'll think about like, oh, I could be working on that YouTube video right now. And then I gauge myself, like, this is my workaholic nature because I've been self-employed pretty much my entire adult life. And I come from a family where it's like, I'm like the third generation of like entrepreneur. Yeah. And so like my grandfather was self-employed for his entire life. Yeah. But even before he graduated high school, he had his own business. My uncle took over and now it's me, like, and my brother, my sister, we're all self-employed, all three of us. So we all have our own businesses. And it's like I work dawn to dark. Like that's what my grandfather did. He was like the guy I looked up to the most. He worked dawn to dark 6 days a week, and then he preached at 2 churches on Sunday. So when it comes to like me, it's like if I don't look back on my day and go like, fuck yeah, I put in like 4 hours worth of progress on like some professional or whatever, then like if I don't have that, then it's like, what the fuck did I do today?
Yeah.
You know,
I feel that.
And like housework doesn't cut it. Like if I take my entire garage apart and like fix it or repaint my kitchen or something, it's like, okay, well, I did that, but what did I do to make money today?
Yep.
You know, so like it's a fucking complex thing. It's not healthy.
No,
like don't be me, okay? So it's something that I fight with all the time.
So it's something you're working on, though. I mean, I think the first stage of realizing that you need. You don't necessarily need help, but like you've realized it. That's like you kind of
become a lot more scheduled.
Yeah, 100%. And you said earlier, right? In order for you to help with something, you have to bring it to the surface, right? And this is you bringing it to the surface. And I wholeheartedly believe that you'll get better eventually, or fix whatever you feel with
I've started
regret.
making like for the last like 6 months or so, it's been pretty regimented on the schedule. Like I'm done by like 4:30 on the weekdays, and I'm usually done by 2 p.m. on the weekends. Okay. So that way I have like 3 hours in the evening to be able to like cook dinner and do that stuff, and then the 3-year-old goes to bed. And then it's like, all right, well, family time's over, and then I come back in here and I work until like 10 or 11 o'clock, and then I go to bed. Sometimes it's like 3 a.m. because I'm an insomniac, but I got shit to do. So sometimes we only get 3 hours of sleep a night, and that's it's fine for like 4 or 5 days, and then I crash. Yeah. But
it's something to work on, and I'm glad that you brought that up. I'm glad that you're being very open about this, because it needs to be more. People need to be, especially in the content creator realm, people need to be more open about this shit. That's kind of why I created a podcast like this, so you can be more open with, not only me and another creator, but like your community. People might be in here watching, and it's a way to connect with other people. I think it's a very good thing to talk about. You seem to be very vocal with content creation. I think you wanted creators to play what you want. You kind of mentioned earlier where you switch to dark and darker, but you also with tweak and everything, switch in the games, and we love seeing other people do other things. I assume you still believe this, like you want creators to play what they want and be happy within the realm.
Absolutely.
And how has this made an impact on your life as well, like with dark and darker?
So there's always a push and pull with everything, right? So it's like you can do the thing that makes you the most money, or you can do the thing that makes you happy. The thing that makes you the most money, if it's not the thing that makes you the most happy, will eventually eat away at you until the point where you fucking break and decide that you're gonna do something else regardless. The thing that makes you happy will be the thing that your community starts feeding off of, because if you're having the most fun and you're smiling and laughing and making jokes and doing all this other stuff and really enjoying yourself, other people are going to enjoy that along with you, and it will make you more of a person that people will gravitate toward. Yeah. Right. You're a source of light as opposed to like being a black hole. You know what I'm saying? So in the case of people wanting to play what they want to play when it comes to creation or whatever, I fully believe that if people are enjoying themselves as a creator, they tend to be more inspiring. They get inspired. They make better content in general. Right. That being said, they have to rip the Band-Aid and deal with the fact that they're going to lose viewership if they're not known for what it is that they're doing. So that's the hardest part. So like people have to be gauged about it. Absolutely. But I like using like Fudge as an example of this. His GTA 5 like RP stuff is absolutely hilarious. Like he RPs as a cop, and it's so fucking funny.
Lincoln Carter, baby.
It's some of the my favorite content are like some of the clips that he makes from like the stuff that he does in these RP streams. But he's not known as an RP streamer. He's known for Tarkov content, so his viewership dips. But he's trying to like work it in there as much as he can, because he doesn't want to be viewed as just the person that like I click on face good, right? It matters. So I want to see him, keep doing more of that, because you can tell he gets to be his creative self, and like that's the thing that people want to see. Any one of those clips, if he keeps making them, will end up being something that goes viral, and then he'll end up having 1 million views on TikTok or something.
Oh wow,
like that's what you need. Right?
Speaking of, he just oh my god, he just showed up. You mentioned his name. He's in chat. That's a fucking crazy thing.
Don't tell him I said anything nice.
Yeah,
okay? Right.
No, we were talking shit. We were literally just talking shit about him.
Absolutely.
We hate Fudge.
You big bitch.
Like, fuck you. Yeah, you.
F you,
we
Fudge.
hate him.
I love you. I love you, Fudge.
Speaking about Fudge, and I wanted to ask OnePeg, you seem to know everyone in the community. You have a lot of friends.
Everyone that's worth knowing.
Yeah. That's a good fucking quote. How important do you think friends are in the creator space, and most importantly, Tarkov?
Very.
Yeah.
Both from a personal standpoint and from a business standpoint. Very. There's probably nothing that is more important actually than that. From a personal standpoint, it's like, it's good to have friends. You make more cool content when you're able to play with friends. You have more fun with your friends. Guys like Fudge, for instance, like people like him, or like Pool, or like Ames, or Jay, or Batty, or Reef. Any all the guys that I play Dark and Darker stuff with, if I was chilling with them in the middle of an open field staring at the bark of a tree, we would end up having fun just because we're fucking jokers. And we'd laugh because we'd entertain ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of the point.
The best friends.
Like the banter and shit is fucking great. From a business standpoint, if you're looking at streaming content creation, there is no faster way to grow your stream, your channel, your presence, whatever, than by collaborating with other fucking people. That's how you get more viewers faster, is by playing games with other people. That's how it works.
Yeah.
One streamer plays with another streamer, you get like the whole like cross promotion shit going on. And some of those viewers from one channel become viewers on yours. That's just how the thing works. There's no faster way to grow your content than that. There just isn't.
I'm glad that you brought that up. It's
good for both.
Yeah, it's a good point because one of the ways that I got partner was actually something that you were a part of was duo month, right? My entire month was filled with duos, and I've been thinking. I literally messaged my mod about it yesterday. I was like, I might start this in May because I'm getting to the point where I'm burnt out. I used to always do these duo months, had a blast, and got some great people on, and I think it's a good point that you brought up is that one thing that really helped me was playing with other people. And, you get that, you get those, cross communities, right? Like I share a lot of viewers with Fudge and Fudge shares a lot of viewers with me. And we've kind of, had a lot of good friends made from that, and it's a very good point. I'm very, very glad you brought that up. I did want to ask though, what's one thing as a person you wish you worked on sooner? Whether it be as a streamer, as a creator, a person, what's something you wish you did sooner in your life that you worked on?
Other than work-life balance, so I was a pretty accomplished athlete when I was younger.
Yeah.
What I wish is that I had kept up with that throughout like my adult life. I kind of like, and I've roped it in, like I've brought it back a couple of times. I used to be 60 pounds heavier than I am now. So I brought that in a lot, like, I don't know, probably 6-7 years ago, something like that. And I kind of like kept the weight off, but I haven't been as like present in my physical fitness as I would like. So I'm fixing that actually. I got gym shoes in the mail. They're gonna be here on Monday. We're going fucking to work.
Oh, let's fucking go.
We're going to work, dude.
Dude, you got the build for it too. You tall as shit. You're gonna get jacked, bro. You're sleeper build,
and I'm on
man.
TRT now.
Like actually,
I got diagnosed with like low testosterone.
Oh shit.
And like you know what it was? It was Cody, donut operator.
Yeah.
Like he's a buddy of mine. Has been for a long time. I met Cody and Brandon and Caleb Francis playing Tarkov. I've met NBA players. I got fucking like Terrence Ross, like former fucking like dunk 2013 slam dunk fucking MVP. Right, Terrence Ross. He's my fucking boy. Yeah. Like, this is the weirdest shit ever. The lead singer of Monuments and Macari is one of my like good friends now. Like nothing fucking makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the physical fitness definitely would be the thing. Other than like the work-life balance and stuff, physical fitness for sure. So yeah, we're fixing that though. So that again, like work-life balance being what it is, I'm going to be taking time that I need, like kind of like how Valian did, to focus on doing that. So yeah, I've been inspired by homies to get in the fucking gym and
that's what we like to see. That's what we like to see. That's makes my heart happy, man. Hearing my friends better themselves.
So
you know
between
how
that
it
and
is.
the testosterone, we should end up getting making some progress here pretty quick.
Let's go. Oh man. Although you're a good person, Peg, you also love fucking around with the haters. We kind of talked about that earlier. Curious, what's your favorite part of a haters and screwing with them? You have a favorite part about the haters, or are we just gonna be like, oh, they're fucking dickheads? We hate them. Like you like screwing with them a little bit. I like screwing with them.
I like fucking with them.
Yeah.
It's fun. Like my favorite part about it, I think, is when they start accusing me of being like emotional over it when they don't realize like I'm literally like the things that I'm writing to them just literally just to fuck with them.
Yeah.
And then when all else fails, okay, like you want like the catch-all. No matter what happens, you win. You just thank them for the engagement. Like seriously,
I do it all the time.
You like, thank you so much for your engagement. This is helping to drive this to more people, so that more people see my tweet. Thank you so much, right? Or like the video that you post or whatever. And then they're like, then they'll end up saying some herder comment in response. Thank you again for responding. This is great. Like you're being so great.
I know.
Thank you so much. Like, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? You're welcome, douchebag. Thank you again. Another comment, dude. You're just driving this thing home. Thank you so much. Like, what are they gonna say?
Yeah, no,
it's like every time your stupid ass responds to me, that's like another 3 to 5 people that are gonna end up seeing this because of you. Like, I love you so much for this. You're paying my bills single-handedly.
That's what
right
I told a guy the other day on TikTok. I was like, he came in, he was hating me. I was like, dude, thank you, by the way, man, for the comments the past few days. You've been allowing me to pay for my Chipotle at the end of the day. I really appreciate it. He's like, what are you fucking talking about? He's like, my comments don't make you money. And I was like, yeah, you technically are, right? Your comments don't. But every time you comment, that's considered an algorithm boost. And what that happens is every time you comment, it sends to more people. And those more people then come to my Twitch stream. And then those people that stop by the Twitch stream might give me a sub. And you're paying for my fucking Chipotle by commenting over the past few days. I haven't heard from him since. He stopped talking immediately.
No, they don't say shit.
Yeah, they
That's
just
the
leave.
Best part.
Yeah.
I actually made a video a long time ago where I was like, I'm gonna rant. This is gonna be a ranty video, and it was like, if you don't like me, if you don't agree with me, all right, and you don't want me to make any money as a result of this video, the only way that you can hurt me is by not saying anything. If you write a hateful comment and say some dog shit, like, it's going to pay me more because of what you're writing. So if you really want to hurt me, say nothing. And shockingly, like, fucking 2 people said something negative. Yeah. No one else said shit. It was like, yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, give me my fucking views, you pieces of shit. You know?
No, I saw that video. I remember seeing that. That shit was hilarious. No, it's the truth though. People don't realize that they're helping us more than anything. Like, if you want to hate on somebody in 2024, just like literally block them or just stop scrolling and staying on their content. You know, if you dislike somebody, just keep moving on. Like, you realize, oh my God, the funniest shit ever. I don't even remember
the last time that I felt like writing something negative and like taking the time. It's like, dude, I got more shit to do. Like, I haven't got time to like write some bullshit.
Exactly.
Like, I gotta go cook eggs or like something, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I could write to you, or I could go take a shower. Like,
I don't think people realize the algorithm, right? I think the funniest part is when people will come to my TikTok stream and they'll be like, why the fuck am I seeing you on my For You page so much? I can't stand you. And it's like, you're literally commenting on my shit. The algorithm work. I went in depth with a hater the other day. He was like,
you're gonna see me more after writing that, dude.
Yeah, I told him that. I was like, dude, you realize if you don't want to fucking see me, okay, stop commenting on my shit. Like, if you don't want to see me, just like move on, you know? And you don't realize that. They really can't, man. They really can't. I wanted to talk.
It matters too much.
Yeah, it does. No, it really fucking does.
Dude, I have an example of this. A perfect one, actually, for you. So some guy yesterday. So I have a long-standing rule in my chat where if somebody makes on patch days, okay? If somebody makes like a trollsy comment, like, oh, game's up or whatever, and you go and look at the launcher and it's not really because they're just trying to make you look, they get timed out for 24 hours. That's the rule. It's been like that for fucking years. So some guy came in and made some like quoted thing that said like the patch duration has been extended an hour. And I was like, I don't believe you. So I went and I looked and I was like, nope, you're getting timed out for 24. He went to an update video that I made on YouTube and tried to make a comment about how I unjustifiably timed him out for 24 hours because he was just trying to ask me a question and he didn't understand why I was being such a dick. So then I had to write it back to him and be like, well, you did this or whatever. And then it was like, you know, like I had to justify it. There was actually I had an even better one. There was a guy that said, shit, what did he say? He said something about the patch. So they changed the mechanic in the game that allows for a certain thing to happen, and now they're doing gear-based matchmaking in Dark and Darker for a little while as a test. Yeah. And I said a long time ago, I said gear-based matchmaking was gonna be a waste of time. Right? I don't like it. I don't like SBMM and I don't like GBMM systems. I think that they end up being like not good for the game because people try to game the systems. So somebody responded to me when I made a video about how they're going to test it. And he was like, oh, dude, like months ago, I remember you basically called me stupid for saying that GBMM might be a good idea. Who's laughing now? I'm the big dog, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, he actually said, remember when? And I go, no, I don't remember you. And I don't remember that conversation at all, but have fun or whatever, big dog. like I don't know you, man. Like I live rent free in your head for like 4 fucking months.
Dude, it's always those chatters
I don't know
on
who
Twitch.
You are. Like you're chatter number 357. I have no fucking clue who you are.
Oh man, I know exactly what you're talking about. I'll have people that will come in like a year or 2 years later. They'll come in and they'll be like, "Yo, remember when I smoked you on Shoreline a few years ago, and I killed you with the DTMDR when it was meta?" It's like, dog, well, why don't you fucking remember it? Like, are you not a good streamer? It's like, you got to be fucking kidding me right now. I think the worst ones, unfortunately, and they're just, they mean nice, bro. They mean nice are the ones that will come in. It's like Tarkov Timmy 18639, and they'll like come in from the first time in like 4 years, and they'll be like, yo, you remember me? And I go back to their message history, and it's like, hey, I think you're really cool. And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't remember you. I went to your message history. I really appreciate you for stopping in from so long ago, but I don't. And then they're like, you either get one or two responses, like, you're a fucking dickhead. Like, how do you not respond? Or like, how do you not remember me? And then they'll be like, some of them will be nice and be like, yo, I understand. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I thought you might have remembered me. And then we become good friends. But it's always those people, man. It's hilarious that you brought that up. Moving on, though, I wanted to talk about, we talked about the present and the past. Let's talk about the future. The future in gaming is bright, but I want to touch on Dark and Darker again. Do you think this game can be a top game sometime? I wanted to kind of ask you, do you believe that Dark and Darker, even though it has a lot of issues, can it be a top game?
It's got good bones, I think. It's got good bones, and the dev team actually gives a shit. Yeah, it's got a good foundation, and as an idea, it's a little like an extraction game, right? But it's as an idea, it's kind of unique in its stance, like where it's going. So I think it could. It's just a matter of like, getting clear of like the legal issues that they have, and like being able to like get to the audience that it needs to get to. Mainly because gamers are fickle and they're fucking afraid and they don't want to like, oh, I can't play something that's off of Steam because I'm a cultist or some shit. Like it's whatever. I don't know, man. Like we play Tarkov, so it's like I'm used to it. But there's so many people that are like, when is this game coming back to Steam so I can finally buy it? Yes, because it's different spending $35 on this gray window versus this gray window. Yeah, like I don't understand, but whatever, it doesn't matter. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it like get free of its legal issues and then kind of take off a little bit more than it is. 100%. I think it has staying power. Yeah. They have a lot of work in front of them before it'll do anything. But right now, if the game were on Steam with the player numbers that they're experiencing, it would be about like 105 to 110 on like the Steam rankings in terms of like their average player like base, like concurrent players during the day. So it's like in the like top 100-ish of Steam. So they're not doing awful, compared to like a lot of other games around. They do okay. So I'm just looking. I'm looking. One of the community members, one of my friends, this dude, his name is Soma. He used to work for Twitch, and he just got appointed as their global like head of marketing. Oh shit! So yeah, and he's been streaming this game for a long time. He actually runs like a Dark and Darker podcast. Oh. So he's he just got hired by them. He's actually flying to Korea in about 3 weeks to go and meet up with everybody and talk about strategy and stuff. Yeah. So he'll be the guy that like sets up like Twitch drops and stuff for Dark and Darker. Oh, nice. So they could end up having like a Tarkov moment where it kind of blows up a little bit from that, but they'll have to have like some solid pieces of content to go and explore, so that there's actually some meat like for people to see, like for Twitch drop stuff. That's sick. Yeah, but I think they have a chance. They have a chance.
Yeah, 100%. I think Dark and Darker is a really cool game. I would love to get some games in sometime. I really want to fucking try it out with a stack.
Okay, man, I'm all around. We can go get shit on.
You know I'm bad. You know I'm bad at reaching out. You know how it is. I wanted to ask though, future plans for you. Any big plans? Any cons coming up? I know. I always
for
ask.
Sure GCX, for sure TwitchCon, I think. Yeah.
Okay, GCX and TwitchCon. I do want to ask though. Any not private stuff, but I asked Pestilly this question, and he actually told us about his it was a while ago when we had the Pestilly podcast, but he was talking about his thing where he had the streamers at his house for that week duration with Batty and stuff. And he told us about that, and it was like a top secret thing at that point. Any top secret stuff you want to tell us, or just if you don't want to, that's okay. Any big plans other than top secret stuff?
I don't have anything like eventized. Yeah. Man, I wish I had something cool. Yeah. Like oh, bro, like it's crazy, like
Yeah, dude, I'm going to
I'm gonna
fucking
go climb this or some shit like next week. No,
Yeah, no, I got you.
No, I don't have a lot. I don't have really like anything huge coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just gonna be like normal average like stream schedule kind
Gray
of things.
Zone? Gray
trying
Zone's
to-
coming up. Yeah.
Gray Zone's coming up. There's gonna be some stuff with Dune Awakening at some point.
That's gonna be good.
Yeah, that'll be cool. No Rest for the Wicked. That isometric like Diablo if it was Dark Souls. That game that a lot of people are playing.
I didn't hear about that. That sounds good.
Yeah, that game's cool. No Rest for the Wicked is cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I played I did like a sponsored like demo run. It goes in early access in a few weeks.
Okay.
But yeah, I did like a sponsored demo run. They're gearing up for that right now. I'm like partnered with the devs. They made Ori in the Infinite Forest.
Oh, okay.
If you ever played that.
Yeah.
Both of the Ori games. So they're kind of doing something a little bit different with this one.
Okay.
But that's gonna be cool. Like, but I'm partnered with the dev team. So there's like there'll be like some referral link for people that end up wanting to like buy it and shit when it goes in early access if they use it. So I just said that I don't know. I don't typically like doing that kind of shit, but they offered it and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be playing it anyway, so what the hell. Yeah, so I mean, other than that, it's just gonna be like same old. I'm trying to travel more. I've been traveling to a lot of places.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to do that a lot more this year. I wanted to do a con every quarter, and I have gotten in a plane 4 times since January. So I'm doing it way more often than I thought I was going to, which has been a little bit more expensive than I wanted to do. But it has been very very rewarding.
Yeah.
And I've been able to hang out with some really great people.
Yeah.
And it's been good for the soul. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's good friend time. It's always nice having that. I did want to ask real quick. Do you have time? Because if we don't have a lot of time, we can get the chat questions. But before we get the chat questions, I'll let them cook in chat. But I also want to ask some speed questions to kind of get to know you. Some stuff that you would hear in elementary school. So I wanted to start favorite food.
Pie.
Okay, pie.
Pie.
Okay. You know what?
Like cherry pie.
Cherry pie.
Apple's second. Yeah.
Okay. I don't like
basically
pie.
pie. Anything like flaky crust filled with fruit or like pumpkin, sweet potato, that kind of thing.
Sweet potato pie is so good. We call it sweet potato yum yum. We love it. Oh my god, dude.
It's good.
Woods or the beach?
Beach.
Okay. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Okay. If you won the lottery, what are you doing first?
Taking half of it and putting it in something relatively safe and halfway decent yield so that I get like a fuck ton of cash every year, like my own little salary, and then I'm gonna blow the other half.
Oh, okay.
Like
Nice.
I'm gonna go to Vegas and like have a fucking like good time. Actually, you know what? I wouldn't go to Vegas. I would go to Ireland, and then I would go to Tulum in Mexico.
Is that a dream place?
I've been there. It's fucking gorgeous. They have one of the best beaches like in the world. I've been on that beach. It's fucking great. But I really like South American like ancient cultures like Mayans, Incans, Aztecs, like that kind of thing. So I have a tattoo of like a Mayan piece on my arm. I love that place.
Sick.
It's cool.
Oh yeah. Favorite musician?
Fuck.
All time.
Favorite
pick
musician
one.
all time.
Yeah, you got to pick one.
Mike Patton.
Okay.
Do you know who Mike Patton is?
No.
No. You ever hear Faith No More? Phantomas, Tomahawk, Mr. Bungle.
Mr. Bungle, I think
you ever play Left 4 Dead?
I have not. I've never played Left 4 Dead. I know that's gonna
no point of reference for me to lean on here.
Yeah.
He's one of the most dynamic, widest ranged vocalists that has ever graced our planet. The dude is insane. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn, okay. Well, chat, if you guys have any questions for Mr. OnePeg here, we haven't had any questions. This is what always happens, OnePeg. I say, hey, we're gonna ask chat questions, and then there'll be nobody in chat has any questions, but during the podcast there will be like 83,000 people that are like, oh, well, like, does OnePeg like this? It's like, dude, it literally says answered at the end, but we'll move past. Less of a question, more of a suggestion. Since he likes French press, he should try an AeroPress. Cleaner cup of coffee and far easier to use/clean. That's our coffee guy. I've never heard of an AeroPress. It sounds like a fucking
I never said
airplane.
I never said French press. I said French roast.
Oh, French
for
roast.
coffee beans.
Okay.
Yeah, no, dude, that shit just goes into like a filter cup and a Keurig, and I hit the button. But maybe I should. Maybe I should explain. I grew up dirt fucking poor.
Yeah.
I mean, like my first pair of basketball shoes was worn by my cousin the season before. My first bike was a hand-me-down from an older cousin. Like,
yeah,
I grew up dirt fucking poor. Like, we just opened a can of Maxwell House or whatever and put it into a filter, and like that was coffee. Like,
yeah,
I don't actually give a fuck about like quality of brew or anything. Like, it's literally just for the caffeine.
Yeah.
And it's warm and it makes me feel nice when I get up in the morning. Like I don't yeah, we don't French press.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still wipe my dirty hands on my pants when I eat a cheeseburger, all right?
Hey,
like
I do that too.
Yeah.
No worries. Arson asks, when will OnePeg start up his stand-up comedian journey?
Okay, there's a story with this. Okay. Arson, I fucking love you because every time he says this shit, it fucking boosts my ego like nothing I've ever heard before. So I have a ton of respect for stand-up comedians. I think that they're some of the most brilliant like artists of all time, and they're one of the few like places that people actually like speak real truth, even though they can deliver it in a way that make people laugh.
Yeah,
there's shreds of truth in all of the jokes. So we were riding in a car on the way to this bar in Texas. During Loot Fest actually, and we're in an Uber. There's like 6 of us in this thing, and Lena, we're riding with Lena. She is where is she from? Laos or something like. I asked her what the hell? I asked her if she was Dominican or something like that. And she was like, "What the fuck?" Like, she was so offended because that's not where she's from. I thought she was Filipino. And I think she told me that she was Dominican or something like that. But I asked her if she was Filipino, and she was like, "What the fuck?" Like, she was like, "I'm not fucking Filipino." Like, she was all fucking mad. And like, all right, well, like what nationality? Like, what is your heritage? And she said like Laos or like Dominican or something. And I cracked up, and I'm like, it's basically the same fucking thing. Like, I got the wrong end of the island. Like, what is wrong? Like, and it's totally not. Like, I was just leaning into it, right? Like, I know Lena well enough where I could like fuck with her like that. Like, everybody's gonna think I'm a fucking racist now. But yeah, like, so like I just started going off, and we're just like riffing. Like, myself and Amy Cakes are like just riffing on each other like the entire ride. And we get out of the car, and Arson is like falling over fucking laughing, and he's just like, "Dude, you should be a stand-up comic." I'm like, "I'm gonna kiss you on your mouth." like I was like, that is the best compliment anyone could ever have fucking given me. Like, it was awesome. Like, hearing that was awesome because I don't have the balls to do it. I don't think.
Yeah.
I'll sing for my supper. I've done it before. Like, I'll get on a stage and sing, no problem. Like, I'm a fucking canary. Like, no worries there. But like, I always worry like I'm gonna trip up on my words, or like I'm not gonna have the right cadence, or the delivery's gonna suck or whatever.
I'm
gonna bomb 100%. Like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be out because like comedy audiences are fucking awful.
Yeah.
If they want to be, and like I'm like, how the fuck would I deal with a heckler? I wouldn't. I'd probably just fucking fold like a lawn chair. Like, I don't know how to deal with that shit.
Yeah.
So it's like every comic goes through like that shit at the beginning where they're just horrendous, and it's like, I don't know if I could deal with like that period of time where I'm horrendous.
That embarrassment stage. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Like, I would go like hard to cringe, and it's just like, I don't know if I want to do that shit.
Then you get YouTube videos about the worst comedian ever, and then it's just like,
remember that guy OnePeg that used to think he was all fucking smart and hoity-toity and shit on Twitter? Now he's up on stage fucking bombing in front of 15 people because he's awful and no one goes to his shows. Like, I can't. No.
Yeah, I think we have a few more questions here. One to ask, what's your favorite band instead of an artist? I feel like that's a good question for you as well.
Fuck. If I go old school, it would be I'm a grunge rock kid, so it's gonna be like Alice in Chains or Tool, or Soundgarden. It would not be Nirvana. I was never like a big Nirvana guy. Pearl Jam. I think Pearl Jam 10 is probably the album I've listened to the most. out of any album. That one is one of those ones where it's like front to back to front. It's like every song is a fucking banger. My favorite band right now is Sleep Token.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't know why I thought it was one person. I've heard a few Sleep Token songs. They're good.
Sleep Token is fucking awesome.
They're really
insane.
good.
Their drummer was just featured on Vimeo. He got like the Drummer of the Year award from Vimeo.
Hell yeah.
His shit is good, man. The band is killer. Like they're like 11 fucking different music genres, like all rolled up into some band where you try to call them metal, but it just doesn't fit. Like I dig their shit a lot. Yeah.
Okay. One last question. We kind of already answered this earlier, but is there any games you're excited to play that's coming out this year? If so, what are they? I know you mentioned the Dune Awakening. I don't know if that's going to come out.
Dune Awakening is coming up for early access. No Rest for the Wicked is coming up in a few weeks. Gray Zone is going to be the 18th of April.
Yep.
So
Can't
that's
wait for that.
For like 5 days.
I'm excited for some of the MMOs. I don't know if you've seen some of them. Ashes of Creation is supposed to come out this year.
Oh, they're going to put Ashes out?
Maybe. They say that it was going to come out 2 years ago and it didn't. Maybe.
They said that so it's supposed to go live, and when it goes live, it's going to stay live. Was what they said, right? So like progress sticks after that point. That'll be interesting to see how they plan to manage that, depending on like what systems are actually in the game, because like that game is being touted as something that's going to be so fucking involved it probably will never be finished with all the shit that they're trying to pack into it. Like I don't know how they're. If they actually, like, by the time that I'm 80, if they actually pull it off, it will be like the most accomplished MMO in history. Like that will be like completely rewrite everything. But it's like that's like saying Star Citizen is going to be like the greatest game ever fucking created, and that thing is never coming out of fucking alpha even. I'm actually looking forward to the next patch where they have like wildlife and stuff on planets and shit. Like that'll be cool.
Okay. Hell yeah, some good answers. There's a lot of good ones coming out this year. I know I'm excited for Ashes if it comes out, and then I forget the one MMO that just recently came out with an early access. What is it called? I think it's called Throne and Liberty. I think it's like a medieval MMO. From what I've seen, Once Human, I've been loving. I'm excited for that.
Once Human's good.
Once Human is the blast. It comes out of fall, I believe, sometimes. So I'm excited for it. There's a lot of good games coming out this year. It just sucks. I don't know about you, but I feel like gaming nowadays is just like, or not gaming, game development is super slow for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I
think what it is that you don't have finished products that are coming out and like getting handed to people and being like, this game is done. Have fun playing it. Most people don't do that anymore. Most times it goes into early access. And when it goes into early access, people end up seeing how slow the dev cycle for games like the ones that we're playing actually are, right? They don't realize that like a lot of these larger games that people are playing take, 5, 6, 7 years to create. And like, that's normal.
Yeah.
Like you look at it, like perfect example would be like Final Fantasy VII. Right, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and then they have Rebirth. It was like years in between Remake and Rebirth, and they had already started working on Rebirth when Remake was out. And then the next one, the third one, isn't going to be here until 2027. That's the estimated time when it, like the third part of the complete remake of Final Fantasy VII is going to be done. Right, so you're talking a 15-year plus cycle of time to remake Final Fantasy VII that was out for PlayStation like forever ago, right? Because they're completely remaking the whole game, like start to finish.
Yeah.
If that was in early access, like you would have forums full of people that are like, these devs don't know what the fuck they're doing. Oh my god, like they have no clue. Like this is awful. Look at all these balance issues. Yeah. Because no one on the consumer side really understands the process of game development and trying and failing and iterating and all those other things, the brainstorming. No one ever takes the time to understand what that's like because they don't live in the world of game dev. Anyone that has worked in the world of game dev, for the most part, looks at the process that people are going through and they go, oh yeah, well, that's normal. They're in this phase, right? Like that's just like how game dev gets done. On the consumer side, they're like, what the fuck is taking so long? Yep. They don't tend to really understand it.
Yep.
Obviously there are exceptions and people get burned and stuff, and the words early access are almost like a fucking 4-letter word at this point, and people shy away from it and they start holding up crosses and garlic. But yeah, I mean, like it's slow because now most people are starting to be exposed to how slow the game dev process is without having any point of reference.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
how it goes.
I mean, perfect example also is GTA 6. GTA 6 is a long time fucking coming, man.
Oh yeah,
You know, and I'm amazed that Battlefield. COD was able to come out with so many good releases in such a short span. Kind of ruined
multiple studios.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense now looking at it, right? But they were able to,
studios.
Battlefield 2 or not Battlefield, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, like. Modern Warfare 2, the Modern Warfare 3, like there was a few year difference, but like all of those were good, you know, and man, they were doing so well for so fucking long. OnePeg, so well for so long. That is going to be the end of the podcast, though, Mr. OnePeg. I wanted to say thank you for being on, brother. Thanks for being on the podcast, man. I'm glad that you were able to be very open with me. I really appreciate it, man. I wanted to ask one more time, where can we find you? Platform schedule, where we're
Twitch.tv/OnePeg and YouTube.com/@ like a little @OnePeg.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm on Twitter. Just come say hi.
Okay. Go.
I feel like everyone's gonna try and fucking troll me now because we had so much conversation about like the trolling.
Don't worry. Don't
dudes
worry.
are gonna come out of the way. It's fine. I just started hitting like the block button like fast and loose. Everybody's got burners now.
Yeah.
Like because the guys got fucking blocked on their mains, so now they like, I'll use this burner that I made in 2022.
Yeah.
You know, like with 0 followers and I wrote 3 tweets once. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
man, yeah.
it's so silly. But yeah, I'm live every day around like 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, usually, sometimes earlier, sometimes later. And then I post on YouTube probably like 2 to 3 days a week.
Okay.
Average week. You know, sometimes it's two in one day. Sometimes it's, you know, I don't post for a week or something. It kind of just depends on how busy things are.
Okay.
But
it sounds good to me. How was the coffee? I mean, it's a while ago before we finished
last
it.
sip.
But,
Yeah, I took my
last
time
sip.
with
Damn, you took your
Yeah,
time.
just downed it.
Yeah, I downed
Yeah, I
that
took my
shit
time
in
with
the first like 30 minutes,
this
bro.
is my second cup of coffee today.
Oh
so.
yeah, I've been trying. So I've been tricking my brain. I'll get this big ass cup of coffee, and I'll just won't drink another cup of this. Like I'll just drink all of this in one sitting to make myself not feel bad for having 2 cups of coffee.
Yeah,
because for whatever reason I feel bad.
I go with this plus 20 milligrams of Adderall, so it works out pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
ADHD's a bitch, man.
I wonder sometimes if I need Adderall. I'm not gonna lie to you. Thank you again, though, OnePeg. I really appreciate you, man. Thanks for being on the podcast, brother.
Anytime, man.
We need to get some games in soon, and I just wanted to say thank you for being on the podcast, brother.
Absolutely, man.
You have a good rest of your day. Sorry for taking so much of your time, man. That was 3 hours almost. But I hope you had a good one, man. Yeah, we did. Yeah, thank you so much for being so open. You have a great rest of your day, OnePeg, and I'll see you soon, brother. Bye.
See you.
Peace. Oh, I love OnePeg, man. Good dude, too. Very, very good dude. Oh, man. We love podcasts in here. Hold on. Let me go to this. Let me go to that. Chat, if you guys are listening right now, you guys are probably hearing the audio. If you guys are hearing the audio, don't forget to check out the Coffee with Genooo Twitter and the Support This Podcast feature on Spotify if you would like to give me money or whatever you want to fucking do. And as always, you guys know the deal. Stay safe. Stay caffeinated. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. Bye-bye.